All right, welcome everybody. It's Wednesday night. It's session 6. It's Nathaniel and Korak here to watch some last round Mahjong. We've got a B2 matchup to start us off. It is Hanley, Dave, Jacob, and Melissa with a bit of a spread here in the standings. Will be very exciting to see how their individual positions will affect the play overall in this series. Looks like Hanley will be the dealer to start us off. Jacob on the right. Melissa will be across the table. And Dave on our left. And Korak, what do you make of these high pie?
Well, I don't know because I can't see them.
Oh, well, let me go ahead and make sure that you can. It is kind of interesting. Only one two-door visible, one across the table, one on the left, and kind of Pinfu-esque hands from my view for just about everybody here.
Yeah, Hanley has a pin foot. Oh, just goes directly
Gee.
for the Sanshoku. There's not much value in this. It's Sanshoku Nomi. You're going to need the 9-so specifically. It does get rid of the ability. It gives you the ability to call the 2-so, but I don't really think that's a particularly strong chi. It basically feels like a desperation that you're behind, but I don't see any reason to think you're behind. Sure, there's a call on the right, but it's going to be Tanya Nomi almost all the time. But just draw your 9-so and your Tenpai in the 2-so, and that 2 is very loose there on the right.
Yeah, certainly. Well, actually, Jacob opened up this hand, and with the current shapes, it almost has to be 2, 3, 4 Sanchiko, doesn't it? It might end up being confirmed in hand unless it's a late Tanya shift.
Yeah, and that call doesn't help, like, at all. Jacob definitely puts himself in a really awful position here. Not only is it cheap, but it's slow, and the defense isn't that great with a hand like this either.
And we see Melissa across the way finds Tenpai
Well,
right here.
Tenpai across the way, Ricci pin, Fudor 147 pin. Actually pretty good on the wall. We see 4 of them in hand, so 4 left in the wall.
Here's that
I think you have to chi this now. The 8, you can just throw the 8-9 if you want. Oh, well, okay, just draw the 3 yourself then.
It looks
Cuts
like
the 9. I definitely cut the 8 pin first. I don't think it does anything in this hand. You want a pair. You don't want to completely give up the ability to fight this hand because you put yourself in this position.
yeah, it does look like Jacob wants out of this hand though, and Hanley has had save tiles, but had the save 3 pin, but now pushes away the 1-3, and it will end up.
There goes the 6.
It's 2d10 because of the
4e10 because the 3 on the right that got cheated can switch here.
Yeah, 6
To
mon
the
now.
Chun Tonki, I would definitely do so, even though they're. Oh wait, no, it's completely dead, isn't it? I thought there was one left, but no, it's completely dead. Everyone else has discarded one.
Oh wow!
And immediately draws it yourself, just sumo.
Yep.
That is a very awkward hand.
Everything that hand was weird. Melissa will look at this and say, "Wait, didn't I deal in? Oh right." Well, props to Hanley for managing to pull that hand out of thin air. This hyper looks a
It
little
gives
better.
you another dealer turn and 2,500 points. That is a pretty good starting end here with a Tanyao, maybe Ricci Tanyao here on the right. A few pairs, maybe 5, 6 of them. Sanjiku would be probably the best route across the way. Pin Fu type hand, maybe Tanya. Definitely needs a 6 pin, and then maybe the 7-so or 4-so. And the left Chun pair. Pretty good shapes altogether. But definitely needs the 8-so to pull it in. Although now with that 7 pin, you can at least start dreaming of Suanko.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that hand, but Hanley definitely keeps improving the shape. Managed to draw a Dora already and is currently Ishanten Kutsuki waiting for something to connect to the 5 pin or the 3, so could even find Ricci pin.
Hanley also looking for the Ipeco. 2-so would be the ideal draw.
Oh, how about another
well,
Dora?
never mind. Get another Dora. I don't have to think too much about it. Interesting. I might have cut the 5 pin instead. But this does let you draw, say, 3 mon or 6 mon, and there's Ricci on the 6.
Oh,
or just draw the 6.
Yeah, interesting choice there between the 3-sided weight with Ricci Dora 1 or Ricci Dora 2 with a slightly worse 3-6 mon weight.
Opts to definitely use both Dora here. Of course, we can see the 3 is dead. There's only 1 6 out, so 3 of those left. 4 would be Ricci Dora 2.
And with the dealer Ricci, the rest of the table has to be a little bit concerned. And it...
Well, there's one of those 6s across the way, so 2 left.
We see the full set of 4 pins in the hand to the left, but I doubt we're going to see a con anytime soon. Dave opting for the Chun Chun cut. Oh, And Melissa keeps collecting these 6 mon. There's the final one drawn to hand, so Hanley actually drawing dead here.
Well, now you have incentive to shove, and that 7-pin just going to come out. It says this is a very pushable hand here.
Will be interesting. I guess the 2-3 pin is kind of okay. The 3 so passes
Well, the
well, so 3
problem
so 2 so is
is
also good.
the problem is you're gonna have to not just throw the 2, but also the 3. 3 doesn't look great here, but it's like what else are you gonna do?
You really don't want to drop the 5-6 mon here, so it kind of just has to be 3 so 2 so unless you're forced to otherwise, given what you draw.
Oh, well, I mean, you could always cheat toy shift. The 2 is plenty safe. And there's actually an argument to just throw the 3 so and then the 2 so, seeing even just pulling everything down. Well, now it's just cheat toy. Cut the 3 so for sure.
That's the play. Still a couple more draws for Melissa to find Tempai.
And 6 so is Nakasuju, so you're going to have pretty safe entry anyway. Well, there goes a 2. So now you have another way to get into Tempai. But you have to draw one of them first.
9 mon is clear.
Oh, and there's the 2 so. Missed it by 1 draw. Of course, that fight would have been the sumo had you been waiting on the 4, 5, 7 weight instead.
It looks
Instead, we'll pick up the Tempai pants and should get all of them for a net of 2,000 points after that. And we still have another East 1.
Hanley just consistently picking up points and chipping away at the totals of the other players. Still a very even game, though.
Now, Dia here with a nice callable hand. Can even call the 9-pin if you want to get aggressive, but probably just take the chew when the incident comes. Oh, well, now you don't even have to worry about it. On the right, I mean, it's a pin Fu hand, but feel a little slow. Maybe the 6-pin Sanjiku would be ideal. Across the way, to pin Fu, but again, you need that 7-pin pull, and the overlap on the 1, 2, 4, 5 mon isn't great. On the left, we have a Hatsu pair and 1 Dora. We'll, of course, need to fill Penshon. That's going to be like stopping issue in that hand is, then there we go. One of those Penchon goes. We'll have to fill the door indicator, though. That's always harder. Although, presumably, your preference is just draw another door, pair it up, and then pull in something else.
After drawing that 3-4 mon shape for Hanley, it was overblocked, and you almost don't want to open up on the Jun to reduce the value of your hand. Does end up opening up for Tanyao anyway, though. Perhaps matching the speed of Dave on the left, especially given there are no door in hand. You're a little concerned that that's a Hatsudora too, or even worse.
But you also have 1,600 in the middle, so you've doubled your value just winning any Tanya. Oh, well, now you can just take Tempai. You'll have to throw the Dora, but says, you know what, that's fine.
Very
2
clear.
is plenty safe.
Tempai signal to the rest of the table, but Hanley probably doesn't have to be too concerned about the value anymore.
Well, the interesting thing here is there are a bunch of upgrades for Dave into Toy Toy.
Yeah, that is the one option for a little bit more.
Ishan 10 on the right. Shapes are getting better. Oh, there's a 7. And of course, that's a tie you would have dreamed to draw there for Dave, but not showing up. And meanwhile, the rest of the players just seem kind of stuck. But dealer and Ishan 10 hell, and just as I say that, draws in and his Tempai in 2-5, including the 2 that just came out. But we see that the 2s are kind of locked up here. That's not coming out from Dave, I think, under any circumstances. But this is Tempai on the right. Can just hit the button, probably deciding which weight. The 9 is dead, so the 5 may actually be better on the wall. The question is, do you believe the 1? And you do have the Suji on the 1, so the 1 looks very safe. Might even see Ipatsu here.
Yeah, 9 mon is also Suji.
The thing is, from this hand, you don't really have much. Oh, just jams the 9 mon in there. Oh, yeah, that's perfectly safe, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Because
Suji
you
and
have,
the opponent
yeah.
left.
Right, so don't have to worry about that. Dealer folds the Tempai. Doesn't want to throw the Dora into that. Always understandable.
Oh, there's the 6.
There's
Comes
a
out before the
6.
1.
Just deals in. Just the 1,000, but with the 26 in the middle, a decent-sized hand. And we move on to Jacob's dealer turn here.
Good dodge by Melissa not throwing out the Suji 1 month.
All right. Ooh, dealer. Like, you want to go Honitsu. The question is, can you force this to happen? And the answer is usually just, yeah, go for it. Ooh, but do you chi that? I don't think that chi actually helps. And see, now you're East Shunton. There's even a pretty good art. Just cut the south there. It's just one cut and see what happens later. That way you have the option of just being closed anyway. Or you can also alternatively just push like normal, especially if you're out like one so. But in the
Wow.
meantime, there's a Ricci on the left. So that's going to shut down all the fun here. That is a Ricci Nomi on 1-4 pin.
It's almost a shame you have this Ankh of 2 mon because it was looking very Honitsu, but
Just sumo. And they will be extra fluke because the Onko, 2 Onkos in the win pair. So gets 5,200 from that. Reach Ipatsu Sumo with extra fu. And we are already into East 3 now. East 1 took forever, and then the next 2 went pretty fast. Dealer here is Melissa with a Pinfu type hand. 7 pin, an amazing draw here for each Pinfu door. On the right, we see the North has been called. Probably force us into a Chanta type hand because these shapes are bad. Ugh. Across the way, Pinfu type hand needs to fill the 8 pin, although that 4 will help as well. And on the left, you have a nice run in Mon, decent shape in So at the 5-7-8, and then everything else is complete garbage except the Dora, although arguably even the Dora, because you're going to need the 3 or the 6. Ooh, now you have a 2 pin pair where 5 pin is Dora, so maybe end up using that as the pair. Could even go Tanya now, honestly. You don't really think about it when you see all those honors, but it's definitely possible.
Hey, you really only need to find a 6-0 and then 1 more block, and it's definitely a viable option. But Rishi Pinfu, if you do end up drawing the 9-0 instead, it's still totally viable. I do quite like Dealer's hand with the 6-7-8 Sancho chance, but I feel
Interesting
like
choice there by Dave. Goes ahead and keeps the floating 9, floating 2, and floating 8. Instead, cuts from the 2-so pair. Normally, you'd cut one of those floaters. You can always just call Haku, and then you have your Yaku there anyway.
yeah, that really feels like Dave is super committed to Chanta here and ending on a terminal Tonki if it comes down to it.
And across the way is Tempai now. Will just be the 2 Han of Tanya Dora 1. Waiting on 4-7 Nobeton.
Yeah, great chase, but you can't pass up a Dora call, especially when you're already in the lead and in pretty good standing overall in the division.
And just sumo. I saw the 2,000 get over 41,000, clearly in first place here. And Hanley is sitting at 3rd overall in the division, definitely looking like a promotion spot where things are. Of course, there are a lot of games left. No one, I believe. This is the first game in B2 that has been played this session, and we're already in Wednesday of week 1, so there are a few, as you can see from that leaderboard, where there were some scheduling conflicts. There's been some poking around in the league, making sure people will need to get their games in and scheduled, but we will see a whole bunch of them played over the next few days. Here, dealer is Dave, looking at a potential Itsu in So, also reasonably shaped outside, but not too much. You have the 5-8. The 3-5-9-9, though, not nearly as bad as it may look. On the right, we have a Hatsu pair, and other than that, probably just call and go. Not too much else. Speaking of call and go, across the way, Shaw pair, but not much else. No real way to win the hand normally. And on the left, there is a pay pawn, but no value anywhere else. Just feel like 3 call and go hands, and then maybe the dealer can turn this into something. But everyone else is a mess. And there goes the Shaw. I imagine it gets pawned. There it goes.
And yeah, I mean, these don't have any value because there's no Dora visible to any of these players. Now, of course, some have the ability to incorporate a Dora more easily than others. Melissa can easily add an 8-pin into the hand. Jacob will have a little bit harder time of doing so, but he is just Ishan Den here after the 1-pin call. I guess Hunley
Melissa
can
has
use
a
the
bit of a
Dora.
decision here. You have 2 Kanshan, one by Dora and one that's not by Dora.
Normally, you'd expect to see the 2-mon more easily, but also...
Yeah, I agree with cutting the 5, because then you can still just draw the 8 or even the 9, and that's fine. Kind of gives you both options. If you draw the 6, you're not even that thrilled with it, so that seems like normal play.
Ooh. 7 is pretty nice for Dave, but gives up on the 5, 6,
Trying
7
to brute
Sancho
force the
chance.
Sanshoku out here. Trying to see whether that's worth, and the answer is probably and immediate backfire. Well, when you have 3 Ryoncon, you're guaranteed to come and draw the one that you gave up. I mean, it's just a rule of Mahjong. You get to suffer.
Right. Might have been useful to toss the 9 so instead and keep both Sancho options open, but the 9 so is also a safe tile in a hand that looks like it's going to be very difficult to complete, especially when you have 2 players who are already open.
There was also a potential 5, 6, 7 Sanju, which hand didn't start out with, but developed that way. So I think 9 so was much more normal a cut there.
We did see Melissa redraw that 6 pin, so a small backfire there, and chooses to commit to the door accepting shape. In the meantime, Teeler just
Will be
draws a pair of
Furry
Dora.
10 most likely, though.
Boom.
There, the Hatsu finally comes out. And Holly says, couldn't you have given me that, like, I don't know, 10 turns ago?
And Melissa looks at this hand and says, you know what, Hatsa at this point isn't exactly a safe tile anymore, so maybe holding the sufficient 2-mon isn't actually the worst. Of course, we do have the Ishunten on the right, and Hanley's been just vacuuming up these hands. Khan!
And draws in the new
Oh!
Dora, throws it immediately. That's easy
Chi.
chi into a 3-sided Tempai for pay Dora 1.
Chi.
Melissa cheese back that tile that she discarded earlier. Jacob must have been thinking, well, surely Melissa doesn't need it. It's probably fine.
No, an ape is not going to get thrown. Dealer would have loved to pull that.
Oh, what about for Tempai?
Well, now you just weigh. Ooh, it's not Dortanki, though, because you have the Shumpon 5, 6.
I won't even accept the Tempai discarding the 8 pin. It's too scary on this board. Jacob will try to draw 5 mon for 7 mon.
And I agree. It's a really scary title, especially with like dealer. You look at that pawn. Oh, sure, the 8-pin door would never be used. Well, we're gonna see if it gets pushed here on the right. Should not be because that's not even Tempai.
Oh, pulling for
And
Tempai.
yeah, now you can just pull and go Dortanki. Absolutely pulling that.
6 mon were very safe to dealer and the other player with 2 calls, Melissa.
Will be 2 players Tempai.
Very scrappy game, although Hanley has had the advantage in picking up multiple 2,000-point hands and a bunch of Bomba as well.
Nice little hand for a couple people here. Deer with potential Riichi, Pinfu, Sanshoku, not Sanshoku, Peiko, but even Honitsu possible as well. On the right, that's definitely Honitsu. Calls the double south. Probably going Honitsu, doubled on Dora. Maybe even another Dora could come later. Oh, and I mean, if you're Hanley, your eyes are starting to get big when you draw tiles like that.
Yeah, still holding
And
this.
across, nice little Tanyao, maybe a Pinfu, most likely this Tanyao. And on the left, you see a couple win pairs, but the hand just not going to make it, I don't think.
9 pin finally leaves Hanlei's hand. I was wondering how long to be retained over these honors, but looks like Hanlei isn't trying to make Honitsu. If anything, it's going to be Chinitsu.
Well, I think it's Tempai on the right, and it is. We'll say, you know what? 3 Han's good enough. We'll just wait on the 7, so.
Only one in the
Problem
wall.
is, there's only one in the left, but one left in the wall, but you might see it come out from Dave because that 7 so doesn't fit at all in that hand.
Yeah, it can be really challenging to use it. I mean, I guess you probably cut something like 1 so, maybe even the 2 pin be first, but it's probably going to come out with any sort of progress. 5 so puts some question marks on that.
Ishunten across the way for potentially Itsu.
3 pin or 9 pin ideal draws for Melissa.
And you just throw the 8 back. Yep, there it goes. Especially with one already been discarded. You don't even value that highly as a Champon type structure. Of course, I say that immediately Honda draws the last one on the wall.
Dave desperately trying to work his hand into something normal, but It looks like it's probably just not going to get there at this point. You have to be so far behind.
Now that tile on their hand, you may just cut the one pin for. Yeah, Ricci pin Futanya is very strong. Of course, you're going to draw the 9 and you're going to feel really sad. Oh, well, you don't have Kuikai. Ooh, this is going to be a very interesting choice. Maybe forgetting you don't have Kuikai. I definitely see the Chi, and then it's like, why can't I drop the 4? Oh, no, that's right. Oh, no, and probably times out, because I think you can cut the 6-0 and it's not that bad.
Right.
You can work around it, but that 9-0 definitely feels like a timeout.
Yeah, because you can pull the 9 so pretty easily.
And then be on that 1-4 again. Oh, or even here, you could be
Right.
temp by waiting on the 5.
Oh, interestingly, Hanley actually might end up in Chitoi because these draws. Wow, another 9 so.
That hand is cursed.
Well, how about
Okay,
Tempai
does
again?
get back to that tempai, but it's 4-10. Either way, it's 4-10.
Yeah, so we'll just be working around. The 3D10 button pops up, so Jacob will be aware and switch to another weight if at all possible. And here's
Well,
Chitoi
there's
Tempai.
Shitoi for dealer. Well, this Dama waiting on the 4, so figure it's better on the wall. Turns out it's not, but you may see one come out from Melissa.
Nice switch to
Not
the
with that draw, though.
Oof.
That's going to be a Ricci Pinfu, probably Tanya, although the 9 pin would not be. So let's take a look. Uh-oh.
Oh, that
The 7 Tonki feels like the safer tile. The
might
deal in there on the
might
right.
bail. Yeah, bails.
No, just bails. Oh, and then just says, I'll sumo it myself then.
Wow,
And that's
seven
a
mon.
Mongon with double South and 2 Dora in there. A disgusting 7 Montunki sumo. And that's enough to make this very close all of a sudden. We're in South 2 here. Dealer is Jacob, looking with 3 pairs and not too much else. I think you just play fish to see what happens on the right. Pin Futai Pan 7, so it helped immensely across the way. Maybe an Itsu and Mon. Other than that, just your standard reach Pinfu. Possible 7 and 9 Sunshku as well. And on the left, that's just one Itsu in pins, so that's a call and go. You see any of those south, you smash that button. Dealer, of course, likely to throw it either this turn or next turn.
What,
Nope.
two so?
What? Tuso should not have come out. That feels like a timeout. That would not be the first one Jacobs had either.
Yeah, maybe it's more than just thinking time. Maybe it's actual internet connectivity issues. Oh well, just redraw
Well,
the
just
two
draw
so.
yourself. You don't have to worry about it.
That was a
Well, the thing is,
timely,
here you'd like to have the other Tuso because then you can even get hedged toward G-Toy.
but still a timely south discard to redraw that after the pull.
Yes, definitely a nice little pickup there.
Well, let's see. This one needs to hand Dion Shanten looking for 8 pin,
The
9
2 does
pin.
not speed it up. I passed this.
It feels like this 9 pin's gonna leave Melissa's hand, and there it goes.
There it goes. It's now Ishan 10. Looking for either Shaw or something connected to the 6 pin.
See, Chuna's only one's cut, so I almost want to hold it over the Shaw, but well, I guess when you know, you know. Melissa drops the second one.
Well, you can call that. You can call that. Passes the 1 pin. Could have called for tempo waiting on 5 pin. I think that's a mistake.
I guess hoping for a better tempi than that, but
I mean, there aren't too many worse tempi, but tempi is tempi.
right, and you can
Plus, not to mention you're showing 3 calls and scaring the rest of the table.
certainly draw a 3 pin or 7 pin to upgrade that shape anyway. See, Toyman Ishanten with 2 Kanchans to fill and a Dora. We did see the Chi on the right from Melissa for Tanya Dora 1. Multiple calling options available.
Ew, another
Shaw.
3 pin on the left. Like, what do you do with it?
Ideally, you get a 1 pin or 4 pin and get the Jiamen weight.
Oh, that's like the worst possible draw there on the right for Melissa. Pairs up the 3. Is sitting 2-2-3. Would love a 2 and draws another 3, of course. The problem is the 2 is dead at this point. I mean, you just take that take tempo. You jam the 2 into this. Tempo waiting on 4-7. Again, Butsu included. Across the way versus the 7 Mon Kanchan for Richidora 1.
7-1. Only 2 left in the wall. Of course, that is visible to Dave. And for the 4-7, there are 4, I believe. 3, actually. But the 4-so is going
Well,
to the
that's
Ricci.
an immediate call. Waiting on the 2-5. Of course, the 5 did just come out.
Oh.
But it doesn't matter. That'll be sumoed with the 4-so. Tanya, Dora 1, and the Ricci stick. And that's going to get Melissa back into 3rd place.
Really important because we are in South 3. Everyone still has a chance at first, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Like, no one's blowing this game out. When first place at 35-6, you know you're not out of it anyway. Dealer here is Melissa. Has a nice little pin fu type hand. Potentially Ricci pin fu Tanya on the right. It's a pin fu hand, but a bit of a mess. You have a few pairs, overlaps everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 3, and 6, 6, 7, 8. Across the way, ooh, that 6 shows a very nice draw. But similarly, just not much value. Probably a Ricci pin fu. Maybe a 4, 5, 6 Sanchiku shift late. On the left, 2 Dora, and a whole bunch of crap. It's like you see the 2 Dora, your eyes get big, and then you look at the rest of the hand and throw your hands up in disgust.
Melissa's draws have been insane, though. Look at this Ishanten. Still looking for a
Yeah,
pair.
Ishanten would likely still be Richinomi, though.
Oh.
And there's one of the 1-pin. The 1-pin's now dead, so this Ishanten is not nearly as good as it looks, unless you specifically draw the 9 on. But yeah, says, you know what? If the 1's dead, I might have to get rid of it now.
And for dealer, I'm trying to find a way to make this 6, 7, 8 Sanchiku. It probably involves pairing up either 2-so, 3-so, or 4-so.
Well, dude here's looking at this. Please give me Sanchiku. The problem is you're only allowed 5 blocks.
Currently headless Ishanten. Oh.
I think it is Dama. Yeah, I like the 6. That's what I'd do as well. Because you see that 7 may end up dealing it on the right if you aren't careful.
Yeah, hand on the right is Ishanten for a
June is
potential.
not a bad weight. That is a... The problem is there's no value in it. We'll go ahead and take it anyway. This is Richinomi waiting on the June. Really hoping for an Ipatu at the play like this.
And when you see that 6-pin, 7-pin Diamen Tadashi cut,
Like, it's 100% a good weight. There's
Right.
no... And there's your punish. But hey, Chun probably comes right out anyway. There it is. Now it's it. And it's a direct hit on 4th, so it gets rewarded. Or would be huge here, but no. It does get 2,000 net, though. Still under 30k. You'd wish for a little bit more, but hey, a win's a win. Can't complain too much. Dealer has a few pairs and a floating Chundora. Nice little 1, 2, 3, but the rest of the hand, pair, floater, 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 floater. On the right. Ugh. That is Kanchan Hell. Let's count them. 1, 2, Penchon, 3. Well, go ahead and count that. 4, 5, and another Penchon. 6. Have fun with that hand. Across the way, Pinfu type hand. Not too much else. Maybe just go Tanya with it. On the left, it's a Pinfu hand, but a long way away. A whole bunch of really lousy hands. The best one's probably on the right, and it's not good. It's only reasonable because there have been some draws to maybe head you towards either Itsu or Junchan.
Yeah, 3-pin draw.
What do you
was
think of
pretty
5
big.
so here? I'd cut 5 so.
Yeah, the other option, the 4-pin, loses Itsu, so I think your shapes are good enough to go for it. Yeah, Dave agrees. Most of the meantime has drawn some very nice looking shapes, but still holding on to this Dora.
Now you can just go Pinfu there on the right, hoping to draw the 8-pin or 2-mon. And that's always the thing, because it's the 3 right back Karagiris. Normally that's the thing with a hand that's such garbage like that is there are so many ways to improve it. Already Ishanten now for Junjan.
Dave's drawn really well here. Toyman also Ishanten for potential Tanya.
I think you should always cut the 3 so here. The Sanchiku isn't that helpful, especially with 2 of the 1 so out, and you want a safe tile with bad shapes like this. I don't like cutting the Haku.
Yeah, Dave's definitely greeting for max value, trying to get over 30k.
Well, Richi's Junchan is already good enough. Richi's Sumo Junchan would Well, now I think it'd be like super close to first. Instead, we have Richie Nomi across the way on 2 pin, 6 pin. There are 3 of those on the wall. And like, do you really want to throw 3 into this? No. If you had a hockey, you wouldn't have to think too hard. We'll
Oh,
shove the 5 right now.
yeah, Dave's willing to play. Says this is the
Well, when
hand.
you're in fourth, you should be.
You don't get
Plus, sitting where Dave is in the standings, to even have a prayer of promoting, you're need a lot of work, and needs to stay out of like demotion. Because he's not that much clear of the cut line right now.
2 Dora for Melissa might make this hand worth fighting for. And it's Tempai.
Each.
Smashes it.
Yeah,
So at least
I
half
imagine you
Sujin.
take the Champone. Yeah. With the 7-so and Chun, one of
Oh,
each left. Of
oh,
course,
there
this
goes the
is
6
Ricci
so.
Dora 2, although if you draw that Chun, uh-oh. And there's just a fold.
Yeah, against one Ricci maybe pushes that, but against the dealer
Dave
chase.
says, yeah, let's not. And has 2 of the winning tiles, so it's a 2 versus 2.
14 tiles to
Of
go.
course, we see the dealer way more expensive here.
Absolutely with 2 Dora and yeah, Dora only being once cut definitely poses some
I mean, we
questions.
have to
Where
say,
are they?
there's no way all 4 of them are bricked in the dead wall, are they? There's no way.
Sumo.
And there
Nope,
wasn't.
there isn't. Ricci, Sumo. No aura, but that's going to be a nice little pickup for Hanley. And we're in all last. And, well, I'd say some stuff's happened. A Haku's been pulled already here for Dealer, just trying to call and go. Maybe a Honitsu ship, but I think your ships are good enough you don't even bother with it. On the right, that's definitely a ooh,
Each.
wow,
That's
what is that?
Tempai.
That is Ricci Tanya already 3-sided. Won't be Tanya on the 9, of course, but 3-6-9 for Ricci Nomi. And I mean, if you're sitting there as Dave, you're like, come on.
Yeah, what more do I have to do?
Well, I think it should probably be 2 pin. And unfortunately, unless you get that 4, you're going to deal. Oh, well, there's the deal. That's actually huge. That's the Ricci China. It's going to knock under 30K.
Wow.
So that's a huge pickup for Hanley. Gets the plus 20 UMA and definitely looks headed to B1 next season, getting a plus 31.5. Of course, this is only game 1 of 4 for this table, but that's a nice little boost and should put him, what, maybe 1.1 below first place?
You're right.
That's an amazing result. In second there, oh, that deal in on the end could have been worse with some aura, but we do see Jacob taking a minus 0.6 and not in a position where that can afford that. In third place is going to be Melissa with a minus 8.5, still in the positives, but not really in the running right now. And in the last player was Dave with a minus 22.4, and he's going to drop way down towards the cut line. Might even fall under. What is the cut line in B2 right now?
According to this, it looks like it's negative 84.9.
Ooh, so 0.4 above the cut line now, if I'm seeing this right.
Yeah, Dave in the hot seat, but they are playing game number 2, and maybe this will be the comeback for Dave in this one. I believe Dave was actually in the demotion zone for a little bit this season, and then had a great series to come back.
When you're sitting there at Dave, you look at the stats, 10% deal in rate, and not even that many deal ins. I'd be very interested to see what the stats are there, just the overall, because something has to have gone horribly wrong to be sitting there at minus 85 with those stat lines. And you can see overall, just 3-7-4-7 has had some very positionally bad luck.
Yeah, I think B2 in general, a lot of players have had some just really odd games and really unfortunate, well, luck, I guess, outside of a better word. Dave might be one of those, but if he continues to play consistently, we'll hopefully get out of trouble here. And this looks like a pretty good starting hand for Dave in game number 2.
And you have a Honitsu, Hatsu, maybe Hakudora 3, maybe even Chitoi. Lots of ways his hand can go, but all of them have Honitsu involved. On the right, Sanshigu, that's going to be easy call, I think. Yeah, going for the 789 Sanshigu would probably be Sanshigu. Hard also to get this even to Tanya, or to get to Junchan or even Chanta. Across the way, Pinfu Taipan, not much there. Shapes are a bit of a mess on the left. Chun pair, but the problem is Chun's the door indicator. She only have one left.
Oh, wow. Dave choosing
Dealer
to cut
says,
the
you know
Dora.
what, Dora, we don't need any stinking Dora. Plus, it's already one cut. And that may incentivize Melissa to say that Haku isn't worth anything anymore either.
Yeah, interesting. Had other once cut options, the South, for example, and said,
Well,
I
let's
want to avoid
Tempai on
Dora.
the right. Oh, passes. Interesting.
Yeah, that
I 100% take that call. If you've made those first two, what else are you going to do? And similarly, I think you have to keep the 5 because how else are you ever like finishing this hand?
right. This is a little unusual. Of course, this would be the second game in a row where an East 1 Hunley opens up for a 789 Sancho. He did win the first time around.
Oh, just draw. What is that? The last 3? Yeah, last 3 in the wall. And I guess there is 1-4 on the wall, but does manage to get it.
Oh my.
Ooh, and now dealer. Oh my goodness. Okay, you know what? I think Hanley just knows the wall better than I do.
I think,
I
yeah.
admit defeat here.
Just knew that this drawing line was the good one. And Dealer was getting really scary. He had just paired up double East and was Ishanten for Honitsu, Yakuhai, double Tone.
All right, well, dealer has a Pinfu type hand. Not much value. Could accept the 5 Mondora. On the right, though, that feels like a Honitsu. May just play it normally and see what happens. You have a Dora. Could even potentially go Tiny. They have all those flows. You aren't really wrong. Across the way, Hatsu pair. Whole bunch of Mon tiles, but they're paired up. Looking for an excuse to go to Tutoy or Honitsu or both. Always the dream. And on the left, a Pinfu hand. Not too much. Interesting. I don't like the 2 Mon cut. Hedging the Itsu, but I don't think the 8-pin does anything for that hand. And I don't think if you're going to do that, the 7-so does anything for this hand either. 8-pin's just the normal cut, though.
We do see Dealer picking up a Dora and probably going to cut the Penchant for Tanya in the future. The hand on the right, collecting all of the middle Mon tiles, where Toyman is drawing all the outside Mon tiles, making Monzu really hard for the other players to use.
Yeah, but they probably don't have any idea yet. It will become more obvious as the hands develop. Well, now you see if Hunley does get away from this penchant, and there it goes.
Yeah, held it in favor of the 6-so, really hoping to draw the 3-so, and then immediately backfired with a 7-so draw.
But Ishunten across the way now, looking for probably the Hatsunomi. Of course, you dream of upgrades, but if it comes, you take it.
I imagine the first opponent that Jacob sees will be taken, and then just hold your Tempai. You'll take a win if it comes, but if you get the option to switch to Toy, you'll happily
Oh,
make
here's
the
a
switch.
real decision. Do you con? It makes the 9 look really good.
Con.
Jacob says yes.
Will. Con for flow, of course, has been mentioned in the Armel chat for last day or so. Con will increase flow, but it won't always increase your flow.
Currently, the 7-mon is the new door, and no one else holding that except for Dave on the left, who might Tonki on that in the future, or Hunley, our dealer, who's really looking for a 6-so. Sorry, 6-mon.
Yeah, if dealer can get a 6-mon, this hand just makes itself. Honestly, you just take the 5 anyway. And there's our pull. And across the way, Tempai for Hatsunomi waiting on 2-so. 2 of those out, 2 in the wall.
And with these calls, do you think players are reading Honitsu off of this hand?
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, I sure would be.
Early honor tiles. In fact, there's a lot of honor tiles discarded in general, but even then, pulling into 1-mon cut with no, middle.
Okay, here's a thought. Do you pawn that 8-pin? This happened a couple turns ago, but I probably would have just jammed the 3 into this. Maybe a little scared of that Honitsu, though.
With 2 door, it is kind of
Maybe
tempting.
a lot scared of the Honitsu.
Yeah, I feel like Hot Knight in general just tends to be a defensive player and won't force the issue. I mean, we saw in the previous hand not pulling into Tempai because that would leave him pretty vulnerable. Chose to wait, ended up drawing into Tempai and then finding the Tsumo without dropping down to only 4 tiles in hand.
Well, we've been wondering where the Tuso are. Still 2 in the wall. Oh, huge upgrade there on the left. A second Dora can call this down.
Nope. Well,
There's one of those Tuso, and that's going to deal in, and you're going to go, huh?
but okay.
Huh?
1,300.
Okay, whatever. 1,300. That could be a lot worse. Probably end up paying more in temp payments. And that's one where you just pull your jaw up off the ground, and they go, okay, shake it off and move on.
And open up this
And
high
Melissa
pie.
is going to be in a pretty good shape. A nice little high pie here. Maybe Itsu in so shift toward Honitsu. The question is, you keep that 8 and head for Sanshiko, and the answer is no. What do you think of cutting the 2-pin instead?
I think that's fair.
Basically 4 of those hedges, but I don't hate the 8 money either. And on the right, Pinfu type hand, but a bit of a mess. Across the way, Pinfu hand,
Pump.
much better. Maybe Peiko there in So somewhere. And on the left, Haku has been pawned. Has a bunch of floaters, though. Hand shape's awful. It's very much a Korek type call, where it's just like, I'm never winning this hand close, so we
Pump.
just go. And it definitely incentivizes Melissa to go ahead and call, although she probably would have anyway. The question is, can you make that into Honitsu?
Ooh, notably Dora came out. No call
No
on that
one
either.
wanted it. Or I say no one could use it. Everyone wants it, except the person throwing it, of course.
And honestly, they'd want it too if they could pair it up reliably.
No kidding. Especially when you already have Yaku like that.
I wonder if there's any world where they could have ended up holding out for a Dora Tonki play.
Maybe. Like, I don't think the 5-so does much for that hand right now. Well, dealer's just going to take the temp by here. Waiting on 3 6-so.
Only 2 of those left in the wall, but there's a decent chance that it overflows out of... Well, I guess...
Nah, they all
Not in
kind
this
of fit
hand,
in
yeah.
Dave's hand. Yeah, unless you get a very specific draw, then it's going to be very hard to flow out.
So actually not... Okay, well there's...
And that was the draw I was thinking of, was that 7-so. That might incentivize it.
Although this shape is...
Although here you can use the 3 as your pair, move towards the 5-8 shape.
Right, you have flexibility as to which side you keep, 5-8 or the 1-4 side. And use the other one as the pair.
Well,
so.
you may end up just jamming the 3-6 if you draw like 1-so decks.
Each.
But the first Tempai is on the right. Now we may see a chase.
It's Richinomi on the right, waiting 5-8. So, oh,
and there it
comes
is.
out.
Sanso delivers here, picks up 2,500 points per dealer, and into not quite first place, but it's so close you can barely tell the difference. 200 points between first and second. Melissa picks some points there, and definitely hedging towards a Honitsu here. Potential Chinitsu or Honitsu with a Dora on the right. Few pairs, actually a bunch of pairs. I think you go Toy. Oh, you have 2 Dora, you didn't even have to. So that's definitely the best hand. I haven't even looked at everyone else. Although we're going to have some pause when we get to that left hand. Across the way, nice little Itsu potential in So. Could even go Chinitsu depending on if you draw it on the left. That is just Honitsu. And not drawing tiles for it. In fact, I disagree with the non-cut even on that first turn. Sure, one was cut, but I think it was definitely the way to value. This 1-mon pair doesn't do anything for you. I don't like that 2-pin cut. I think that's a pretty big mistake.
One of the things that...
Okay, not punished.
Ooh, that's Tempai.
Waiting on 4-7 until be 5,200 because you do have the extra foo from all 3 terminal bones. Or 2 terminal pawns and an honor pawn.
Oh, Melissa with a nice hand herself Ishanten for Itsudor 1.
Tempai across the way. That is a Rishi Pinfu. It's just Pinfu. You're like, it has to be more than that. No, it's not.
Oh, Melissa's going to fight.
Well, you got to chase this. It's 3-sided, isn't it?
Oh, but instead,
doesn't
Jacob.
matter. Shun Dora 2 picks up all the sticks. Says, thanks for the donation, suckers.
Just as things were getting exciting, Jacob shuts it down. Oh, well. Raising the excitement levels again.
Okay. I mean, Chanta double Yaku high looks pretty good to me. Question is what your pair going to be. That's always the issue with a hand like this. On the right, you have the Sha Anko, maybe some sort of Sanshoku. Like 4, 5, 6 is so far away, you're not even really thinking about it. I think it's just reaching. You may end up just folding. Across the way, Pinfu type hand there. Nice little draw at the 6. You do the awkward 5, 6, 6, 6, 7. But that
Gee.
accepts so many improvements. On the left, though, calls the 6, so definitely going Honetsu. Would like to also pawn the Pei, as that is Yakuhai. There's only one of those left on the wall, though.
Got Honitsu with Itsu chance as well.
Well,
And
we have Tempai for deal. No, we don't. Never mind. That is 2 Kanchan. I
Kan.
thought one of those was a pair. Well, Con for flow. There it is. 2 so.
oh, Toyman, hello.
Yeah, that all of a sudden is a very spicy hand.
I was thinking there's a world where that turns into Sun Uncle, but at this point you're just trying to find your fastest Tempai.
Ooh, 4 pin. Do you think you cut maybe 7 on there?
Kan.
Yeah, oh, whoa, hold that thought.
Con
Con into
into
Tempai.
a Tempai here. Oh my
1.
goodness.
Oh, and now we're gonna
And
see
there's a Ricci on the 5-8. The 5
Each.
is 3. Oh, and there's our Ricci. Oh,
Oh my
this is an
goodness.
Intotsu.
And the
Just
5's so
with, oh
safe to
no,
the
this could
right.
be a Patsu.
Wow.
Oh, this is going to be expensive. Ricci a Patsu. It's just door 3 with 3 aura chances. Only needs 1 to get that to a Hanemon, and that's going to put Hanley into first place. A direct hit on first. It says, thanks.
Wow. Again, 2 hands in a row where everything happens all at once. Everyone getting Tempai. And with the 2 cons, every Ricci was scary. But the one with Dora 3-1.
Well, we after that, we take a look at the board, and Hanley is now the only person over 30K, second at 27-2. Dealer here is Dave with a Pinfu type hand and a Dora, but definitely needs the 3 pin and then maybe the 7 so on the right. Pinfu type hand, you have a bunch of pairs. The 2-5-8 so is a really ugly shape. Across the way, Pinfu, but it needs a little work. 6-7, 5-6-7 Sanshoku is definitely one of the ways you can make some value from that. On the left, Hatsu pair. Probably as a call and go. It's hard to make any value from this. Maybe some sort of Sanshoku 6-7-8 or 7-8-9, but it feels a long way off.
Yeah, and of course, again, positionally speaking, Jacob might want to stay closed past the first Hatsu, maybe call it second. I mean, you've got enough shapes that you actually might want to use the Hatsu as the pair and go for Ricci Itsu.
No, we're going to see it. There goes the first Hatsu, so
Itadora.
definitely looking for more value.
Let's see, 1-mon's very live. Wait, he dropped the 1-mon, so actually, it might end up 50-10.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a disaster. I mean, you just still take the Furry to Ricci anyway, but he's so sad. And yeah, here it kind of gives the 1-2-3 Sanjiku. Looks reasonable to me. There is a Tanya route, which is probably a lot easier. Especially given 3 of the 1-so are out already. Well, that is one of the hands of all time. You draw that 9 pin, you're looking at, I guess we just go Itsu anyway, not how you drew it up. This is so sad having cut the 1 so early.
Yeah, but now you can have Pinfu. Oh, big draw for David.
Dealer Ishan 10 for Tanya Dora 1.
1.
Could even just chi that and we'll do so. Waiting on the 4-7. Of course, the 7 is no Yaku. That's one where you see chi go, wait, wasn't that discarded earlier? Uh-oh.
Right, you have to really question what Yaku is Jacob's going for here. After dropping Hatsu pair as well.
Yeah, like, what would you ever drop the Hatsu there for? Speaking of Tempai, we have one across the way. We'll have to gem the door into this, though. Would you? I think you... Oh, doesn't take the Tempai. Doesn't want to wait on that, too. And now we have a Furiton on the left, so we'll have to draw it anyway. Dealer, though, now has a much wider Ishan. You just cut the 2 pin here. A little scared of potential Sanjiku, but you shouldn't be because the 1-so's dead. I think that 6 pin's a mistake.
Yeah, maybe you tried to set a preemptive Suji trap on the 3.
Oh,
3
look
pin
at that across the way. Doesn't want the Shampon with pay. And now can just wait on the 5. Decides that's probably the way to go. Wait, no, that 6 is wrong.
Oh no.
No, that 100% should be the 3 pin because you guarantee Sanjiku. You could even Dama this if you wanted. Oh, a disaster. It doesn't matter. There's going to be the win for just Tanya. Tanya will end it all. But no, that's a huge mistake from Melissa. She can look back at the log, and that's objectively the wrong answer.
I mean,
I'm just reaching the 3 there.
I'm guessing Melissa did a double take the second she discarded that and said, wait a second, why did I drop this again? My plan was Sanchoku all along. Why did I cut the 6? That wasn't the Sanchoku I was going for. I've done that myself.
Hanlei's dealer here has a 3557 Mon shape. Other than that, looks pretty good for Tanya. On the right, maybe Itsu in So. Across the way, it's a pin Fu hand, but not too much. You'd have a floating Shaw door. And on the left, Chun pair and a floating Shaw door. A whole bunch of pairs, actually, 4 of them. Could even have Cheetoy or something like that, giving you a floating door. And the 7 So is definitely indicative of probably hedging toward Cheetoy.
7
Oh yeah, that's 100%. You dropping a Jamin at turn 2 definitely feels like a.
Not only that, but cutting 3 So.
Well, yeah, there's some cultists out there that would oppose that play. We will see Hanley.
Meanwhile, dealer is Ishan 10. Will potentially be out to Zuki on the 1-4 Mon for Tanyo. And those 4s are pretty stuck in Dave's hand. Good luck with that.
Although if Dave
I
really.
probably would have pawned that 5 and look for a way to upgrade this 2-3.
Absolutely, yeah. Pawn 5, cut 7, and then you've got a headless shaper you can pair up 2-3 Mon and escape the potential Atosuke.
Or even the 3-4. Ooh, well, now
Well,
you just
same
got the 2-3
situation.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Fixes that problem nicely.
Ooh,
Meanwhile, we have a Dama on the right looking for the Chunitsu upgrade.
absolutely. We're not content with just reaching Nomi here when we have potential Churin.
Yeah, reaching Nami would be so sad there.
I'd imagine 9 So 9 So draw.
I mean, even if you sumo it, I'd just sumo Gary Ricci the 7 and say to hell with this. Could he? I guess you just cut the 6 Mon regardless. So
Yeah,
that
I
makes
like
more
6 Mon
sense.
cut.
4 does nothing. Dealer still Shunten.
That Dora passes cleanly. So will Jacob follow? No, holds on to it. He needs value himself. Oh, nice
Well, I guess you
draw.
can get the 3 there.
This
Well,
is,
there's your 4. You definitely cut the 6 Mon now.
the Seashell for Hanley is now amazing. This 5, 5, 6, 7, 7 shape.
There's no 6 in there. Oh, you for Hanley, yeah.
Hanley, yes.
And that gets it, yeah, there. Waiting on the 2-5. I mean, I was definitely focused on Melissa's hand.
Oh, absolutely. That's the biggest. And here we go.
Oh, no. And if it's Cheetoy, the 2-bit doesn't fit. We'll hold it for now.
There's still Suanko Dreams. The dragons are live. There's still a Haku
That's
left.
Tempai if you cheat that, isn't it? Waiting
Should
on the
be.
8?
Yeah.
Gong.
Instead
Doesn't
of the 5
matter.
pin.
Tanya will end it all. And that's going to be another pickup there by Hanley at 46-2.
There's been a very consistent game plan here for Hanley. Don't open up too much. Don't, overextend. Stay closed. Pick up 2,000 points at a time and steamroll.
Well, just shut down the hands that are going. People are going for monsters, and when they have garbage, then you can actually build your own value. Definitely the best way to play, as far as I'm concerned. My deal here, this hand may need some work though. I mean, it's going to be Tanya, I think, but anything else, just there's nothing connect. You have a couple pairs, but in that your best shape is a 2-4 Kanchan. On the right, Pinfu hand, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanshuku developing across the way. Oh, Chanta? Chanta looks pretty good there. Especially with 2 Dora. You get a call, yeah. Could even be just Junchan. That seems much easier, honestly. And on the left, Pinfu type hand. You have an extra 9 Mon to get rid of. Make him out right here. I'll get rid of the 2 first. But not too much value. First hand, though, Tempai is on the right as a Ricci Pinfu Dora 1 waiting on 6-9.
Sweet.
And that 9 is very loose there for Jacob.
Yeah, that's going to be really hard to play with. Okay, we wanted the 2-mon. We didn't need all of the 2-mon.
Oh, well, now there's an incentive to go Sanshku. It could just cut the 4 So Nakazuji or the 1 pin.
Yeah, kind of interesting choice. Oh.
Pushes the Suji, the Richital. I don't like that one. Of course, we always say, why do you not trust Suji, the Richital? And it's because very often that's going to be from a 4-6-8 shape cut. It wasn't here. Of course, it's actually better hand than that, but oftentimes you'll end up with those extra floaters.
I still hope for Jacob to finish his hand, especially if another 7 So. Well, actually, the 7 So's are dying, so I think Jacob probably want to get out of this 8-9 So Penchant.
And dealer not even going to try and fight this. Shaw was fine. Haku was fine. We're just going to throw safe dials for now.
I mean, the only other player is Dave on the left, who's working towards some type of Tanyao.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, good dodge. I still think I prefer the Forso, but just doesn't throw it. So great. Oh, see. And this is one where you're looking at it going, what's my plan now? The 9 so is not safe. It is one chance with the 7 so out. No, it's Kabe with the 7s.
Yeah, start with the 8 so again
So
with
in
2
that
go.
case, that's fine. Yeah, I definitely throw the 8 so first. Plus, if you pair up the 9, your
Sumo.
Chun Flan's not dead. But there's our Sumo. Good dodge across the lane, never throwing that 9
Mhm.
though. But Ricci, Sumo up in Foodora. No aura, and that's going to get Melissa back over 30,000 as we head to South 3.
And Melissa seems to hit in South 2 to pull ahead consistently.
All right. Well, dealer here is Melissa. Has a pair of Haku, Anko of the
Home.
Forso, but just trying to call and go here. There's no real value, but there is value in being dealer. On the right, it's a Pinfu type hand. Maybe an Itsu in Mon, but unlikely. Across the way, it's a Tanya. The question is, can you make anything from it? The shapes are hideous. And on the left, it's a Pinfu type hand, but there's just not much there. You might even go Tanya there as well. You definitely need the 4-pin to pull it off, though.
Yeah, for Dave, it can accept 2 Dora, which I guess is going to have to be your play for value, but difficult to will those into your hand.
Now, Melissa upgrading now potentially could go Toy Toy, especially you pair up the 6, the 8 Mon, or the 6 So. Nice fill there on the left. That is Ishan 10.
Oh,
Well, okay, Tempai for dealer, waiting on the 7 Mon. Of course, you pair up the 6 8, or even see the 7 come out and pull, and it's fine. Oh, and there's a pair. Interesting. I would
yeah,
have cut 9-pin, 6-pin,
right. Keep
and
this.
just hedged towards the Tanyao. Oh, an immediate punish. And especially having cut the 6 before the 8, that is a punish.
Yeah, perhaps the 6-8 so is the choice because Melissa's open, and Hanley doesn't want to really help that hand along.
Home.
This is an easy pull, and you wait on the 8 here. Yep. And this is flexible to literally any Tonki you can draw.
But now Toy Toy Haku is with 2 concealed Anko is going to
It's
be.
significantly scarier. You could even switch to this 8.
Oh, that 8 looks really
But
good.
you do look, it looks good. The problem is it looks bad against you.
Right. Your pond is. If you could
Your
find a
pawn
so tile.
screams Honitsu. This 9-pin, though, well, the problem is if you cut the 8 from this shape, it's going to scream you're waiting on 9. I would 100% think this is 9-pin weight. That this was a shift to a Shampon with a 9. Okay, this on the hand's better. What about getting a Dora and accepting the 4?
Yeah, and Dora's there too in the wall.
And there's only
Haku.
one of the 4s, so much more likely to win on the Dora, and that'd be Toy Toy Haku Dora 2. There's one of them, and that should never come out. There's no way that should come out.
Lower pin tiles looks so bad. Anything around Dora is terrible. Jacob might just fold here.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the right play.
Each.
Oh, well, there's our Ricci. Ooh, con for flow.
You don't really want to drop the 5 pin. I guess you could cut the 4 so.
You could cut the 4 so if you want, but then you're just waiting on the 4-pin.
Oh,
I
wow.
unironically think con is acceptable
I
there.
do, yeah, I agree. But Melissa
So one
thinks the
reason
better
Melissa
way.
might not want to is with where Melissa is in the standings. If you don't really want to have to worry about a demotion fight, you don't. But on the other hand, I'd love to con that. I'd absolutely con that.
The 1-4 pin weight is only waiting on
The 4 is dead,
the 2
so
1
you're
pin,
just
yeah.
waiting for the 1. So there are 2 1s against the 1-3.
Dave could have considered cheating 5 mon and cutting Suji 2 pin, but dropping door indicator is just so scary.
Oh, well, there's your 1.
That goes for it anyway.
Oh,
Don't.
no! Just imagine if you would have conned.
Right? Well, it might have caught me to the deal in tile.
Yeah, for sure. But Melissa will definitely take that in first place now. 44-7, and now may end up getting the full 20 UMA if there's any sort of drop by Hanley. But dealer here with a Pin Fu Taipan 6 would be a huge pickup. Not much other value though on the right. I mean, it's Pin Fu, but it's a bit of a mess. Everything disconnected, but you'll just play with normal efficiency. What happen? You do have a floating Hakudora. Speaking of floating Hakudora, there's one across the way. But that has other pairs. It's probably going G-Toy. And that 6-bit is definitely an indication the hand's going G-Toy. It's actually Ishan 10 right now for Richi Chi-Toy Dora 2. On the left, there's another one of those Haku floating Dora. The rest of the hand, though, is much better. And actually Ishan 10, I believe.
And
No, it's not Ishan
now
10.
it
It's
is.
headless Ishan 10 now. With that 5-so fill. But the question of the hand like this is how greedy do you want to be? If you get a draw, if you get like 2-pin, do you just get greedy and cut 1-so? Because that's what I want to do.
Yeah, that I quite like that actually because you can draw a 5-so 6-so pair into Sanchoku Pin Fu Tanyao. I remember seeing a situation posted in the What Would You Do channel similar to this one where you can either accept your Tenpai on a Tanki if you draw something like that 2-mon, or you can make the 1-so cut and hold your Ishan. Then now we're going to see.
Well, now I get to see the question. I would cut 1-so.
In this case,
Nope.
we don't have the Sanchoku, so a little less value. You could try like 6-so instead and try to hedge the Sanchoku a little bit, but this is gonna be a pretty good weight.
Okay, well, now it's a 1-4-7, but it's just Richi Nomi. I'm just dreaming of so much more with a hand like this. 4-so is drawn across the way. I think the 2's a lot safer. Just throws the door, given it's Sukat at this point. So just going to try and play as normally. Dealer now, Ishan 10.
It's
Could
Tenpai.
throw the 9-8. I definitely.
If you drop the 7,
oh, you'd have to throw the.
deal
I'm
in.
not throwing. I would not throw the 7 for this. I'd throw the 9.
Yeah, 9-8 looks pretty reasonable.
Each.
But we will see the Richi.
Instead, we'll hit the shiny button. We'll deal in as a Richi Nomi. No, or and you're like, that's fine. Like, I'm more than happy to move dealer around at that cost.
Absolutely.
Final deal here is going to be Jason. Nice little Pin Fu Tanyao Dora type hand. Reach Pin Fu Tanyao Dora would be a manga. That'd be a nice way to come back on the right. Pin Fu, but definitely the 7-so and the 5-mon. And also a nice little 7-pin Dora with a 3-5-7 shape across the way. Pin Fu, but needs a 3-so pretty badly. And on the left, that's a hand that's either really good or really bad, depending on your next few draws, and it's looking really bad.
Well, we'll see if any of those Undertales pair up. In the meantime, we are Ishan 10 for Jacob. It is honestly kind of an
Dealer
awkward
is
choice.
headless Ishan 10. You could even just throw the 9 back.
Yeah, I think I prefer that because I want my Richi with
yeah,
a little
I
bit
would
more value.
too. And yeah, this is, you know what? We like Tanya here. We play for Tanya. This does have a lot less tile acceptance than doing it, and passes the Dora here. So definitely just a value play. Now that's actually an interesting one. Do you chi the 7?
Yeah, 2,900 and a dealer repeat versus potential Richi Tanyao for something like 39 with bonuses available as well, including the Dora draw
I think
itself.
just sitting where you are, the passing's fine. But you have to consider your place in the standings. And this is Jacob, who needs a lot of help. I think you have to pass given where you are.
Yeah, if it was Dave, calling would be a lot more reasonable in that situation.
Chi.
And you I hate this. If you don't call the first, you definitely don't call this one.
Yeah, I think probably the timer's going off in Jacob's head saying I need to be Tenpai here, but
well, I mean, Dora may come right out here, but on the other, Melissa says, you know what? We'll just jam it, and that's what happens to jam Dora. That's one of those we're guaranteed because the first one. Oh, there's no way waiting on the Dora. It's completely oops.
Right, you're not expecting to have one get passed by a Tanyao player.
Yeah, it's obviously just a Tanya hand there. The only way you feel that deal's in is if it were just a single tile and then it got paired up and you ended up being really unfortunate and drew the 4th, 7th deals into a Tanya Dora 3. But dealer here is definitely going for a Chanta. Maybe Chanta Sanchoku and some Dora. Hand's a distance away, but as with anything, if you get some draw, well, maybe you go Kokoshi now. And yeah, this is a Kokoshi play now. Okay, so what do you need? 1 Mon, 1 Pin, Shaw, and Non. So still quite a bit away, but I mean, you can start dreaming. On the right, Tanyao, maybe a Sanchiku with a 4-5-6 or even 2-3-4 variety later. Across the way, that's just Ishanten, isn't it? Yeah, it's just Ishanten looking for a pair. Especially if you can draw the 7, you take the Nobiton. And on the left,
Tenpai.
Chun pair. The question is to get really greedy. This is actually Tenpai if you want to reach you waiting on 5 so.
I mean, given what Jacob's throwing out, it's probably not that bad. Because you're not that concerned about Jacob finding Tenpai. And especially with you holding the Shun pair. So taking the Ricci and just shutting all the hands down might not be that bad of a decision. Of course, you are a little bit concerned if Hanlei chases you. Decision time for Jacob. Do we turn this back into a normal Chanta type hand? Yes.
Nah, the answer is it sure looks like it. You can still pawn the 9 Mon. The problem is you missed one of those
Boom.
9 so. And there's our Tenpai on the left, just waiting on 6 so Tonki. The idea is to upgrade. The problem is most of your upgrades are Furry-ten and Pin because you got that 1.
Of course, the pin, though, the widest shape to upgrade in. Unfortunately for Jacob, the 9-mon actually has died now. And of course, the 9 so as
Perfect
well.
Ishan 10 on the right for potentially Ricci Pin Futanyao. You definitely switch off the 6, yeah. Could even chi this. I'd chi this. I think you are behind. And at this point, it's fine.
Tenpai at all costs.
Well, that would also be 4-10 if you take that. Won't. There's our Tenpai on the right. Ricci, Pinfu, possible Tanyao. You
Beat.
have to jam this. Yeah.
It's unfortunate that the 4 so is thrice cut. It's very unlikely you'll end up getting there.
But it's like, what are your improvements? Well, we do see the Furry-ten on the left.
A mega Fudi 10, but very wide.
That's an easy
Boom.
pawn. Your pawn cut 1 does not deal in as it's Furry-ten.
This 1 so, though, will be held. Hanlei's out.
Man, A-pin doesn't look good.
You can't. Oh, 8-pin's Fudi 10 is a Tonki.
Oh, that's a huge draw there for dealer.
Six.
Ishan 10 for that Chanta now.
Oh, here's the Haku, but that's
Given that it was
really
already folded, I
suspicious.
imagine this is a fold.
Yeah, 6-pin still
You just cut the
reasonably
6
safe.
pin. It's fine.
It's interesting. Melissa could have dropped the 6-pin earlier instead of the 3-pin held Tenpai. I think
I
she's
agree.
concerned about this for some reason.
Well, backs into the 7. Oh my goodness, this is disgusting.
No way.
I can't believe. There's no way.
Okay, Haku.
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, by folding out here, I mean, that's going to end the game anyway.
I guess it wasn't Tenpai before either. It's still Ishanten at this point.
Yeah, but it's such a hard Ishanten to fill.
Does not get here. One more draw.
We'll have one more draw.
3 so's not in the wall. 8-mon's not
No.
going to do it.
And that's going to be 3,000 there on the right for Dave, who again takes 4th place. And that's going to put him solidly into motions. The winner here is going to be Melissa with 25.2 in second. Hanley extends that lead and will be the leader in B2 with a plus 6.1 after 22 games. In third is going to be Jacob with a minus 10. Just keeps sinking. And Dave, who was above water a couple games ago, is no longer so.
Well done to Hanlei. 2 games, jumps up to first place overall in B2. And they will be finishing their series out tomorrow night, I believe. And so perhaps we'll be able to catch the conclusion of that. In the meantime, we have
a B1 game and an A1 game going on.
It'll take me a minute to go ahead and set everything up for that. So in the meantime, we will take a very, very short break. As we do set for those games, we'll come back. We'll have one of those 2 matches. Stay tuned. All right, we are back, and we've got an A1 matchup. We'll got the names in place. We'll update the descriptors in the upper right-hand corner. It looks like it's going to be Claire, Lucas, Kenyon, Alex, and it is currently Lucas's, or rather Alex's dealerships. Let's switch over there.
Now, something to talk about here, of course, Lucas is the overall leader in A1, has quite a bit of buffer, and can really punch a ticket to the championship if he has a couple good games here, because everyone else is way back. You had Vincent, who was near the top, took a huge hit. You had Claire, who was near the top, took a huge hit. You had Minko, who was at the top, who took a hit, and is now like plus 50 overall. But Luca's definitely in the best position now. A1 just been beating up on each other. And on the other end, Kenyon, not someone we would have expected to be in the demotion zone, is fighting for a life now, sitting at minus 92.4. And that would be one of the three people that's been in every A1 season. Would definitely feel a bit weird without her next season. So she's fighting for survival. And Alex is just kind of barely above the cut line. The cut line kept rising. Garrick had a couple good results yesterday and went out for a minus 85 to minus 47. So congratulations to him. And last player again is Claire, who was competing for the championship a session ago, but not really in the fight now, just trying to hedge off the demotion because that cut line's getting upper and higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, right now Kenyon Tempai on the left for a Honitsu hand. Currently only Honitsu. Waiting 1-4 pin where the 1 is all gone. I'm really just looking for the 4 pin. Only 2 of those left in the
And
wall.
we see 3. Yeah, no, there's only 1 4
you're
pin
right.
left. Yeah.
I missed the one that was discarded by Alex.
2 pin's a pretty bad tile. The question is, do you just shove it anyway? Now you have 2 door. You should shove this. I think that's a mistake by Lucas.
Yeah, I guess you're concerned about Chinitsu would be the worst. If it's Bakuhon,
Yeah,
it's
you'd be
probably
thinking
fine.
Shinitsu here is the concern. As is, there's a bunch of foo here, but you'd still be only doing it for 26.
If
You
the
can't really expect Claire to be on this bad a weight, but then again, it's Chinitsu or Honitsu. If you're scared of Chinitsu, it's even harder to get a good shape.
right, if the Haku had been pulled by Alex at this point, probably wouldn't be that worried about it because of the Akuhai would have cleared at that point.
Yeah, but even so,
cut.
it's still once cut, so it's not that dangerous, I don't think.
Right.
It's more you're just kind of running out of Suji with the 8-9, and dealer will call for K10 with the 4-7 weight with no Yaku.
I think Lucas is also concerned about Toy Toy as a possibility.
It's definitely possible.
Because he's holding the 1 mon here, the short by 1
that
mon.
would be extra foo if you make this switch. Okay, that 2 does clear, and now Lucas goes, well, I should have shoved the 2, apparently.
Can hoping for the Toy shift here by cutting the 2 as opposed to something like the 6.
North is the seat win there. Dealer's not going to have anything to do with it. And this is always the other advantage of Honitsu is you end up winning more points from missing than you would have from hitting.
Indeed. And so will pick up 3,000 points cleanly. No Ricci stick to deposit in the middle of the table. And we will enter South 1 back to Claire as the dealer.
Claire's dealer in first place has a Pinfu tap hand, maybe Nitsu in Mon, but the shape is great there with the 1, 2, 4, 6, 8 on the right. To Pinfu there, definitely hoping for a 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. And across the way, Pinfu, but the shapes are a bit of a mess. You do have a Dora, but if you can catch something like that, you might even want to go, I don't know, 79 Sanshoku later. It's a really difficult to get that. Best hand, though, is on the left. That is Ishan 10 for Ricci, potentially Ricci Dora, or you get some draws there. Ricci Pinfu, Tanya Sanshoku, Dora.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way to find Sanchoku out of this mess. Now, for example...
Now, there probably is with the 5, 6, 7. You draw an 8 mon, and then it's there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty easy. Also, like something like the 4 mon, 3 mon. will give you a
Yeah,
chance.
well, there are plenty of ways to get it in here. In the meantime, the dealer is Ishunten for probably Richinomi. Very apt for Claire. Of course, that is the name of her club in New York City. Looking for the 5 mon or 7 mon, preferably, so then it'd be Richie Pinfu waiting on 4 or 7 pin.
It's just a waiting game now when your hand is this close to Tepai. Oh, there's the 4-mon though. What do you think? 6 pin?
I'd cut 6
5?
pin.
Dropping the 5-mon does lose your 5, 6, 7 logical chance. But this is the widest shape.
This is the widest shape, but I don't really like the Richino. I mean, even if I draw another 1, I'm not that thrilled with it. Plus, is it even that? Are you even losing that much? In terms of Ukeiri, you're gaining nothing and punished. Because now you could be temp by waiting on that 4-7, still be Richinomi. So again, in terms of Ukeiri, you don't gain or lose anything with that decision. On the right, though, that it's definitely been moving towards Tanya. The question: you cut the 1-1, so instead cuts the 5-mon.
I guess this is a hedge towards Ipeko
Hedging
Sanshoku.
Ipeko Sanshoku.
Yeah.
If you get that 3 pin, your eyes just start getting big.
Yeah, Lucas has had a very consistent season of building these very exciting hands and then not getting there.
Never finishing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's our Tempai on the left, Richie Pinfu, with a 3-6-9 Tempai. Claire doesn't really feel a reason to challenge her. She could have thrown the 8-mon into it.
Tempai for
Kept the
Lucas.
Shuntem, but doesn't want to throw the 5 so later.
Doesn't want to jam this Shabo Ricci against what Alex is showing here.
It is just sumo at this point, if you get it. Of course, we see 1-2 has already been discarded to be only a 3-tile wait.
Only 1 door visible as well.
Well, there's the 9, and it's not a safe tile.
8-mon is only been cut twice. So yeah, Lucas will
And
back
yeah,
away.
just folds out of it, says this wasn't worth it.
Trust the Sotogawa
Dodges
3
the deal
pin.
in there.
Believes because the Pinzu cuts went 3 pin and then 6 pin, that's more likely that the 2 pin's going to be safe here, especially with the 1 pin being cut 3 times. And he's right.
Long.
Well, there it goes. Kenyon deals in. Richie Pinfu.
Of course, Kenyon's in a
And
position...
the aura, it's a big hit.
Yeah, a position where she needs to fight a little bit more than Lucas does. So more reasonable that she'll shove here.
And Lucas is sitting in a reasonable position. Sitting at 33,000 in second place. Still in the Dragon Ranger first. Has a pretty good starting in here. Potential Tanya Sunscrew Dora 1. Would eventually have to cut that 1-2 pin, but 6-7-8 Sunscrew looks very good here. On the right, 2 Yakuhai Dragons. The question is, can you make something else with it, like Chanta or Honitsu? And definitely looks to be hedging towards Chanta. Across the way, we see the Tanya call as 2 Dora. It's very much I see Dora, I could just hit shiny button. And on the left, we see the Peonko. Could go Honitsu, but also has a floating Dora there, so probably not.
Yeah, very common play pattern. 2 Dora, call everything for Tanya. We'll see if Kenyon...
Well, it's an idea that was originally coined by Asapin, the first person to ever make Tenho, the highest rank on Tenho. It's called Dora Dora Dash, and it's I have 2 Dora, I don't have to think about the hand.
And we'll see if Kenyon can actually make something really funny out of this hand. If any of these 9s get paired up. Instead, we're going to have Tempai for Chanta on the 9
Oh,
pin.
there it is. Tempai on the right. Chanta double dragon for 5,200 on the 9 pin. And 9 pin, they're all 3 of them left in the wall still. It's actually a very good weight.
So not a very good
One
weight.
so is 2 cut. It's useless. Yeah, throw that back every time. Well, it feels like Kenyon's going to win this. The question is...
Well...
Oh, well, okay. There goes the door. That's going to be insta-pwned.
And you're expecting Alex to be Tempai making 3 calls into Tanya?
Yeah, no, it's just floating. Kutsuki Shanten.
But Claire doesn't have a choice but to play into this. Kenyon doesn't have a choice but to play into this. And Claire will get the
Just sumo. Riichi Sumo with the pay, which is the Yakuhai. Claire's going to be collecting 4,000 points and into a reasonably comfortable first place at 38,900. And Kenyon's in trouble. Kenyon can't afford to take a game like this. Currently sitting with a minus 30.1 if the scores were to end like this, but as a dealer turn and a decent hand to work from it. Probably a pin fu, especially if you can get that 7 mon, maybe distant Itsu in pin. Of course, that 2 pin would also help as it is Dora on the right. Shanko. Rest of the hand, though, just seems pretty standard. I think you just play it like normal. Efficiency across the way. Could be Honitsu, but you have that south. You can always call it down. You have floating Dora. So instead of not to brute force the Honitsu. And on the left, probably the best hand, callable Haku and possible 79 Sanshoku.
And right now, Kenyon is holding these honor ties, hoping that one of these pairs up and makes her life a little bit easier. But when those start to drift away from the hand, will be snatched away by Claire and Lucas.
And now you see 2 Dora. Claire looks at that, throws the Dora. What happens when you throw Dora? You immediately draw Dora. It's just a rule.
Discarded Dora attract other Dora tiles.
Meanwhile, we have nice little Ishun 10 there on the right.
Could be Sanshoku.
For would likely be Riichi Dora 1. Possible Sanshoku.
Oh, there's a big Dora draw. That was the last one for Kenyon.
Oh, wow. Kenyon desperately needed that.
Funny, she's discarded all the honor tiles except for the ones that can get called.
There goes the south.
Home.
There goes the Pone. And there goes the Ren Shunten. So much further away than you expect with that type of call, but I mean, it's there, and that could be a call for Tempai, and it will be. This is Hakunomi there on the left, just trying to shut this down, waiting on 5-8 mon. And that 5 on the right feels like it's likely to come out. Unless you specifically draw the 2. Although there's a possible Sancho, that's going to be easy. Chi across the way. Ishunten there for what would be non-Nomi. Well, that 6 is fine. You definitely got the 5 there. Yeah, that's fine. Tempai across the way waiting on 3-6. So basically, any way that Alex gets Tempai will deal in.
Yeah, the only way is if you draw 4-7 or 2-3 and drop the Sha for Pinfu. 4-7 mod or 1-4 pin, I should say. But yeah, playing
Looking to
Pinfu
see
could be
if Claire
out.
wants to con. I'd con just given where Claire is in the standings. We don't have to. Speaking of con, we have a choice here as well from Lucas. Lucas, on the other hand, has no incentive to con with where he is in the standings.
Now, what about Rinshaw? Rinshaw's plenty incentive, right? Both players.
Oh, well, there's our Tempai on the right. Would have to throw the Dora, but honestly, it doesn't look that bad. I think you just hit the
pin
button
just passed
here.
a couple times, so it should be pretty safe.
And we see 2 of the 2 pin out, so I think it's fine to just hit the button. You're just sad because it's so cheap.
Yeah, Alex looks like he
It
wants
gets a
more.
little greedy here. We'll see if that's there. Then go getting punished. Oh, well, there's our Tempai for deal. This could be an easy reach. He waiting on the 7 mon.
Yeah,
I can't imagine Kenyon would Dama this with a Dora as well.
Right, you really hate this weight, but you don't really have a choice. It feels like you're just throwing away 1,000 points because you're certain there's at least one other Tempai and probably 2 with
How
better
many
weight than
7s
yours.
are there? They're actually just 2 left. There are 2 left, which is better than you'd expect on
Way better.
late second row. And now the 4 comes out, so it's going to be Suji. Might actually see a pop out from someone trying to defend.
Chi.
Yeah, because they're trying to find a way to shift this into.
Man,
some type
yeah,
of
chases
Tanya.
everyone off with this Ricci. Lucas folded Tempai, Claire folded Tempai, and it turns out it's a pretty garbage Ricci, but good enough.
Again.
There's a 7.
It's Suchi.
Shouldn't come out yet, but very well might. Given the fact that Claire doesn't have too many other tiles to push here.
Oh, it might have to be the 7.
Might come out right here.
Don't.
Yeah, Claire definitely did that to herself. just runs away, and sometimes running isn't the way to play. Deals in for 3,900, and Kenyon will definitely take that. Definitely the slowest hand, but made it work. It's the advantage of the dealer situation is bad weights are fine because those Suji will inevitably build up. That's always the problem with those sevens is sevens and threes oftentimes are barely better than non-Suji because you're often getting just penchon. But even there, that type of shape with a 4-6-8 can happen as well.
I think a
But dealer here is Kenyon.
big point in that hand was just Alex not taking the tempo. I think he would have won if he'd taken the tempo earlier. So
Yeah, it's true. Didn't want
multiple.
to throw the door, and I didn't really see a reason for it. But we'll give Kenyon extra life here. And Kenyon, probably a Ricci Nomi or Ricci Dora waiting in the 3-pin, but a couple steps away. And on the right, though, is already Tempai. Will Dama waiting on 5, so planning on pulling the double south.
Makes a lot of sense.
Ishuntan on the left and across the way, building towards a Honitsu, but a long way away. Nice little 4-pin Anko, but the rest of the hand's a bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before Claire probably drops this south.
Why would you cut 4 so there? I hate this. I don't like this play. Well, the idea here is you can pull in the south and wait the Tonki Suji. In the meantime, though, Kinyu's going to build the hand. Now
Yeah.
Ishan 10.
And choosing efficiency here over the potential Dora inclusion.
Right, and there go all the Dora instantly. Oh, well, now Lucas just cuts 1, 2.
Absolutely. Tanya shift with 3 Dora.
Tanya, Dora 3. Yeah, you can push almost anything there. And there goes the tune. Oh, and there's the backfire on the 1. Not that it was ever going to be used anyway. Well, now we have a Ryoncon for dealer. You definitely cut the 1-pin here.
And 5 Mon cannot be used by Claire, so easy chi if she ever draws it. For Lucas. Still Shunten here.
Well, Tempai, do we have a cultist on the right? Would be Suji.
Pulls the dumb again. Finally the
There's the south that Alex is waiting for from turn 1.
Now cutting the 2,
Could
so it does
chi
look a
for
little
Tanya.
more
Oh no,
suspicious,
there's
but
the 1. That just deals in.
yeah, Kenyon doesn't have a choice here.
Don't.
Alex will win not just 2,000 because there's a ton of Fu there. 2,600 and the Homba. That will send us into the
And that
last.
pushes Kenyon back in a situation where very likely to be the only one under 30K.
Still have some options here.
But
even if you aren't going to be able to build a Mongol or a hand big enough to change places with somebody, you can still hit somebody like Lucas for 2,000 points or Alex for 3,900 and save some Uma points.
Well, Alex's dealer here has a Pinfu Japan with a floating 4 Mondora on the right. Haku pair. I mean, you're dreaming Daishangan, but it's probably not there. Across the way, Pinfu Japan with a Dora there for Luke as well. If you draw the 5 Mon and 7 Mon, it looks really good. And on the left, it's a Pinfu, but it's a bit of a mess there. It feels like a really slow hand.
All of these hands feel pretty slow. We'll definitely be watching some construction here.
Claire's is callable. Lucas's feels okay. Alex feels okay. Alex immediately has a viable hand if 7-pin is drawn.
If 7-pin is drawn, there are 2 in the wall, so definitely not out of the realm of possibility. And Claire does open up on the Haku. Not really looking
Nice
for
fill there
value,
with the
just
2.
trying to aim for the
So yeah,
first.
just doesn't need the first. First is fine. Again, Claire, with her Claire sitting in the standings, 1 first is probably going to have to save her season.
Yeah, Claire, the season has been dancing up around that promotion zone. Currently right around even, but never really in super danger. But now that the demotion line is creeping higher and higher, everyone's feeling a little uncomfortable.
Well, I think Kenyon's going to build this short Jitsu. I don't think she just takes the Tempai, even if it comes.
Yeah, you do need a little bit of value here, I think.
I think you should keep the safe west and just cut the 5 so here. Oh, doesn't throws the west. Well, that gives a possible Sancho shift there for Kenyon.
Yeah, kind of had the 1-2-3 option. Now it's the 2-3-4 option, depending on how she wants to
No,
take it.
definitely likes the 1-2-3 more.
And maybe just doesn't want to be, still planning the Itsu and doesn't want to be holding a 4-pin too late into the round.
6-pin. Okay, well, that's going to be cheat for Tenpai, waiting on 6mon. Of course, honestly, if Alex saw this hand, he'd immediately intentionally deal in. Doesn't have a 6mon, though. There are 2 of those in the wall. Well,
Ooh.
there's our Tenpai on the left. This may be the 6mon Ricci. I imagine you just cut the 9, though. Question is, do you even reach this? Could cut the 3-4.
Each.
Richie Pinfu. Direct hit on Alex with Uda
Nope,
would be
he
enough.
cuts the 9 instead. Will be interrupted there. The 7 is safe. So this is Ricci Pinfu.
Sumo.
Oh, just sumo. And Claire will be fine with that result. Kenyon, though, will take the -20 here. But the big winner here is Claire, plus 22.1. Alex with a plus 7.6. Lucas basically holds his position in third with a 0.7. And Kenyon takes a -30.4. Was trying to get out of the demotion zone, but is now going to probably drop into the second to last spot. That one really hurts.
Yeah, we'll update the scoreline. Lucas still holding strong at 130 points. And of course, the second place player, Anthony, has finished all 4 of his games. So as long as Lucas stays above plus 73.2, we'll be in a pretty reasonable spot. Of course, Korak, you are close behind Anthony with 2 games to play. And Matthew is next up in the line with 4 games to play. But so far, Lucas, if he continues to get results like these, is looking strong to take it.
Well, it looks like the next game will be about 3 minutes. So can we take a look at the overall A1 standings?
Well, let's go ahead and do that. Lucas this season with 24.9 win percentage, but only averaging 3,900, one of the lowest, in fact, the lowest win average in the league, but very strong defense this season, 7.5% deal in percent, and an extremely low average. Looks like the second lowest in the league to give him that EV of 732, which is indeed the highest.
Which is very low for the top of any division. We don't have a
Right.
single play over 750. In most of these divisions, you're looking at 1,100, 1,200. But A1 has just been beating each other up. Of course, they're not pictured here. Sylvie has taken quite a few points, and Jonathan in session 1 took quite a few points. And they do not count because, of course, Jonathan had to take an early hiatus after session 1, and Sylvie's been filling in. So that's where a bunch of those points are. But even so, this cut line is sitting at what, -34 right now, and it could climb any second. You have 3 people that are in really bad position now, but there are ways out still. A bunch of games to go, and the problem is no one's safe. Like even Claire sitting there at plus 22 isn't safe. You're not necessarily safe.
No.
Matthew's not necessarily safe. That line, if it stays around that -50 or even climbs like -30, it's going to start creeping up on people, and it should affect how a bunch of people end up playing over the course of the next week and a half.
Yeah, especially given the fact that players who we thought were in a relatively good spot have been absolutely getting rocked in these past couple of days. Minko, of course, was at plus 70 and dropped like 80, 90 points almost immediately before recovering and stabilizing at a very safe plus 47.6. I mean, anybody who's up there with 4 games to play could find themselves dropping, me included. Definitely not feeling comfortable for anyone in A1.
And one other thing we've talked about earlier in the season is A1 used to have a call rate that's about 3% higher than the average of the league. It's come down quite a bit. I think a large part of that is Garrick dropped below 50%. But even so, I know Max has been very aggressive this season. Andre's very aggressive. Alex has been much more aggressive than I thought. And of course, I tend to be sitting around that 40% myself. So it's been the A1 meta hasn't really been a meta. It's been just a discombobulated mess where everyone's just beating up on each other.
Yeah, it seems to be very much in flux depending on who you're playing against or the standings at any point in time. And Alex, I want to say, we'll see another game of his in just a minute here, but I would say a large amount of that call percentage is not so much opening up for hands early, but late game Mawashi. I know he really likes to dance around Richis and try to find tempai, and I think that accounts for a decent amount of his call percentage. Of course, then you have those hands where he just starts with door 2 and opens up that we saw in the last game. But yeah, I think we'll see a little bit more of that. I'm hearing gong, which means we should get back over to the game. It will be Lucas to start us off in East 1 and instantly conning.
On for flow. Okay, there were some complaints in chat. I thought A1 cod. Well, they apparently heard you and hit shiny button. So dealer here is Lucas, probably just going for a Tanya hand. You'd love to be able to use the Dora 2-pin would be an amazing draw because then you can use the 1-pin as well. On the right, Chun pair, maybe a 3-4-5 Sanchiku, potentially Dora Tonki as well with that 2-pin across the way. That's just Honitsu, maybe Itsu as well. And on the left, it's Pinfu, maybe an Itsu in Mon, but unlikely. Boy, what are these shapes from Lucas?
I mean, it makes sense that he would con with these shapes. It's almost a little sad that we have to drop the 3-pin because the new Dora is the 2, and you could even, make a 1-2-3 shape incorporating both of the Dora. But, I mean, when you have shapes like these, no need to do anything too fancy. Just play efficiently.
Oh, interesting. Chun was passed by Kenyon. On the other hand, Alex says, ooh, let's just pawn and push toward... Oh, that's a bit of a backfire for Lucas. Pawn and push for that Chinitsu. Well, Dora pair up there for Kenyon. So now if a Chun comes out, you absolutely take it. Ooh, it's a huge draw there for Alex. Still a bit away. Has 3 honors to get rid of still, but that 9 so very likely comes out if it gets drawn. Perfect Ishan 10 for Lucas for Richi Tanyao.
Ends up cutting the 3-pin right back
I could
out.
cheat the 3 because you can even go Sanchiku here. I'd absolutely cheat this.
Yeah, totally viable here. Let's hit pass though. And Alex probably in Chinitsu territory at this point.
Well, now you don't even have to pawn the 9 if you just draw it.
We might
Thing is, if the last one comes out, you could pawn it and wait 2 so for Chinitsu.
Open Chunen, otherwise known as Chinitsu.
Richi.
Player will take the tempai though. Richi, door 1.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no way.
I mean, it's right by by both Dora, so if it deals in, it's expensive.
Yeah, Lucas says...
That's probably the only thing that saves Lucas there.
I mean, Lucas is actually Shanten here.
Yeah, and that's why. This feels like you're supposed to just jam it. But if it deals in, it's so bad.
Even holding it, Ishanten, because you can draw a 4-pin and just be tempai. Of course, you need the 4-pin then, but...
Just shove the 7.
Yeah, at least...
as a result, this hand is only waiting on the last 3-pin. If it doesn't come out from Lucas's hand because he's seeing this Ishanten, it's going to be very hard to upgrade. Oh, there's tempai across the way. That is, what, 4-sided?
Yeah, this is a monster. 369 and the 2?
Yeah, for Chinitsu. Would just be Chinitsu, no extra Yaku in there, but you don't need it when you have a Mongon like that.
Of course, the rest of the table sees the 3-mon as a shove and knows that Alex is probably tempai now, or at least...
Probably. I'd actually just read that as Ishanten.
Ishanten.
It's possible it's tempai, but I'd read that as Ishan.
I think one of the things, if I was sitting at this table, is the speed at which that 3-mon came out. I definitely feel like Alex got tempai. Because that was like instant discard. Oh, there's the 2!
And Claire goes, but my tempai, and that's always what happens with Richi. Especially when you Richi on a Kanchan with 2 out, is that will happen quite a bit. But Kenyon, having avoided the mess there, will be dealer here with a Dora. Pretty good starting hand here. Probably Richi Dora 1 with Anko as Shaw. 7-pin with a huge draw. Of course, you can just draw another Dora in your Ishanten. On the right, Pinfu type hand, maybe a 6-7-8 Sanchiku with some adjustment. Maybe now it's 7-8-9 with that draw across the way. It's a Pinfu hand, nothing special, not too much value. Maybe 2-3-4 Sanchiku eventually, but it's a bit of a mess on the left. Oh, well, there's our second Dora draw. I said you could do it and take Ishanten, and that's going to be the play for Kenyon. And on the left, a Pinfu type hand there as well. Maybe an Ipeco with an 8-mon draw. And 9-mon even head you towards the same thing. You can just cut the Hatsu or even the Forso here. Ooh, that's a fun
Choices.
draw for Kenyon.
Naima holds all of the Onko draws. 6-pin, 8-pin. You do lose the 7-pin as a draw into Tempai.
Well, there's your 9.
But this allows you to draw your diamond shapes in the Monzu and shift to...
Right. The only bet, the 7 isn't even that bad a draw. It gives you Ipeco. And yeah, now you have a much better. Oh, I'm surprised that 4 was thrown.
I guess Kenyon's really committing to the Dora here.
Kenyon has decided that this is the hand. And honestly, the 6 would be okay as a potential final weight, but it's Dora.
Yeah, Nakasuji 6-pin except is Dora. Oh, and there's that 7.
Oh, insta punish.
Yeah, you can still go 5-mon. And there
Yeah,
are more...
and this is a super wide Shunten.
Right. One of the sad draws of 5-8-pin where you have to drop a Dora for Tempai. At least your Richi Dora, Richi plus Dora as dealer. That's quite good.
Oh, and another backfire for Kenyon.
These draws have not been happy draws. If you cut 4-mon, you're almost showing Sohonitsu. But then if you do end up on that So Wait, instead of drawing the 2-5 So yourself, it's more difficult to win.
And there goes one of your 7s. You can't call it.
And we do have Alex Ishanten, but with a really awkward 8-9 pin. Just chooses to get rid of that entirely. Claire's seeking something out of that hand. Too many pairs is a little bit of an issue. Right, Ipeco Pinfu chance for Luke is probably the best chance right now catching Kenyon in terms of speed.
Now I should maybe be reading this. The 7's kind of dying. Kenyon's pawn looks really weird. Goes in and cuts the penchant. Kenyon's just stuck in Ishunten hell. Ishunten on the right as well. Doesn't take it though.
Tuso Alko is pretty big for Claire. Problem is the 3-6 is kind of dying here. And maybe
Well,
even go
could
for
go
Sun
towards
Anko.
Sun Anko, yeah. The kid's like, come on, I have to draw something, don't I?
If you draw... Oh, never mind, there's the Dora.
リーチ
Smash the
Interesting.
Ricci.
Okay, yeah, you obviously smashed the button there. And this is Suji. We might see that 2 come out from Alex.
Both the 1-mon and the 2-mon are
Oh,
Suji.
in the meantime, though, Kenyon's gonna
リーチ
definitely hit this one.
Ricci.
Ricci, Pinfu, Ipeco, Dora 2.
Oh, Claire's got so many of those weights in hand. Tuso's gone. 5-so has 2 left.
Versus the 1-2, which has 1 left, but may come out on the right anyway. But,
Yeah.
ooh, that 3-mon cut definitely saves Alex from a potential disaster.
2-mon is Suji to both if it comes to it, but Alex might be able to escape without dropping it at all.
Yeah, the East is fine, and you have other options as well.
Yeah, Alex's safety.
Will be one last draw for Claire, and she's going to see that and breathe a sigh of relief.
Wow, two pretty massive hands going against each other. Kenyon definitely the advantage there in value. And a peaceful conclusion. Kenyon will retain the dealership though, needs to.
Yeah, nets 500 off of that, as does Claire, and has a Pinfu type hand, 3-so and 6-pin, and 5-mon will help this hand really well. On the right, Pinfu, maybe a 6, 7, 8, so I'm just go across the way, Shaw pair. I may just call and go, especially with the Dora. You have that penchant 8-9, but 8 being Dora means you're just going to take almost anything, honestly. And on the left, feels like a Pinfu type hand there as well. 3-pin would be a huge draw, and there it is. This is Nakutsuki Ishunten with a floating 3 and a floating 9.
Yeah, Lucas definitely heavily advantaged here. In fact, we'll be very surprised if he doesn't win the hand. Unfortunately, no Dora just yet.
No, well, you can't just cut the 3 here if you want, or you can cut the 9. Cutting the 3 is more efficient because you can still accept the 7 or the 8 free Payco.
Yeah, but I don't know if you're super happy about that.
Yeah, especially if one of those 7s already come out. If you draw the 8, you're not thrilled. Meanwhile, Kenyon's Ishan 10 for Richi Tanya, maybe Pinfu. That's a huge draw for Claire. Pairs up the Dora. Says thank you very much. Oh, well, now he's good at the 9 for sure there for Lucas.
Massive shape.
This is a wide Ishan 10. And that's not one of them.
Yeah, the question is, how long will you sit here? Kinnan, we were just watching Sad Ishan 10 for so long.
Ishan 10 on the right for Tanya Sanchkudora.
Can improve to Pinfu guaranteed?
Oh, well, that was the draw. Was that 9?
Thoughts to hold the 7, so...
Tempai on the right. Do you take the Pinfu or the Sanshoku? Well, Dama the Sanshoku waiting on the 7. I don't like this.
See, Tanya Sanchikudora is
Eat.
Mangan.
Oh, well, that's just a 3-sided wait. Richi, and then potentially Pinfu,
Eat.
potentially Dora.
Smash it. That 7's so
Will
bad,
be
but we'll
Chase,
fight.
waiting on 3-6-0.
Good Dama. Look at that. Draws the
Yeah,
Dora.
that definitely would have dealt into a nasty little Richi Pinfu Ipatsu Dora. So Dama definitely rewarded there for Alex.
There's some
Cliff learning. What?
temptation to go 3-so, but after the second reach, he's no longer safe. Alex starts with Genbutsu 7-pin, and now what?
7 so. Claire could call if you want to shove the 3-1. You still need those Shaw. Ah, okay. Cuts the 1-1-1. That makes and Tempai now waiting on 2-pin. 2-pin would be double rowan. Ooh, could even shift to the Shampon here. I imagine it'll just be the 1-pin though. Might even fold out of this, honestly.
Yeah, so
with
suspicious. 3-pin's terrible. One, you could justify one,
yeah,
maybe,
just gets
but...
out of there. Oh, and immediately punished.
Sumo.
Oh, just Sumo though. Richi, Sumo, Pinfu, no Dora, but good enough to shut this down, get 3-6, and there's the Aura. That'll take your place of a Dora, and that's going to put Lucas in first place. Not by a whole lot, but you don't need a whole lot. We're in East 3 here. Alex is dealer, second place at 36-1. Has a floating Dora, maybe a 79 Sunshku with his hand on that. Maybe even Junchan. So you can draw that 8-so or 9-so. You definitely want to hedge that way. Junchan or Chanta with potential Dora 2, maybe Sunshku. On the right, Pinfu type hand. Not too much else to say there. Nice little shape in so. Across the way, a decent shape in Mon. You also have a 5, 8, 8, 9 so. So obviously anything getting that 5 would help. But on the left, I mean, it's Pinfu, but you have so many pairs, you're not really thrilled with it.
Dora pair for the dealer. Definitely the monster hand at the table if you can find the third one. All the remaining Dora are in the wall, so not likely to see it discarded anytime soon. Oh, nice Kanchan fill. And I guess you just
I
get
imagine
the Kanchan here.
you could have cut the 3 Mon. I don't really think it does anything in the hand.
Yeah,
But I guess it does let you hedge towards the Sanchku later.
Well, yeah, not accepting.
Have already cut
here.
the 9. The 8's useless. Ishan 10 on the right for Richi or Richi Pinfu. Nah, there's a nice little Ishan 10 for dealer.
Yeah, question, for Alex, if he draws into the 1-4 to Richi the Dora shot.
Or here, if the 3 comes out, do you call it?
Because, Chi 3 or, Pon 3 Mon or Chi 4 Mon both make you look like you're Tanya.
Yeah, especially with these discards. This does not look like waiting on the Hakudora. If anyone does, it's Lucas.
Yeah, those Middle draw discards there. 5 mon, 4 mon. What's going on?
Backfire there for Kenyon. Can't do anything about that. Decided to keep the Ryoncon and just doesn't fill.
Yeah, I mean, these shapes are so difficult.
Where are the Dora? I think you just call this.
Boom.
Yeah, we'll take the Achizuke now, waiting on the Dora for Dealer Mungon. Oh, that's a pretty big draw. Oh, I hate that 2-cut. I hate that 2-cut. The reason it was done, obviously, was because the 3s have been pwned, but I like the ability to just flex this at a Tanyao. Even if it's just 1-3, I think it's reasonable to believe it's in the wall here. Dealer isn't using anything near there. Oh, well, okay, never mind. Ignore me!
Yeah, it doesn't matter when you just
Reach.
draw the 5 anyway.
Yeah, okay, well, that fixes that problem. Riichi Pinfu.
And now the big question
And that's
is...
Tenpai across the way as well. I'd jam this. Really?
See, Tolan is once cut.
Why is Lucas? I don't understand this. Lucas is not playing the way he has been all season, I don't think.
I think just a situational thing here, but East seems like you could have gotten it
No.
through.
Well,
Even if
there's
it's for a
the
dominant.
one so Riichi Pinfu. No aura, but this is at least a direct hit between 4th and 3rd, so they're much closer now. Claire will be dealer here. A nice little Ipeco option if you get another 3-mon. And a Dora here, a potential Riichi Ipeco Dora. On the right, few pair. Feels like a tiny hand, but 2 Dora, you don't have to think too hard. Across the way, Chun, pair, and probably Honitsu. And on the left, Shaonko,
Gee.
but that's not really that helpful given the rest of this hand. And we're going to see the 5 called there on the right. There's Ishan 10. We'll need 3-pin and 4-mon.
Yeah, Claire ended up drawing another pair, so just Chito Ishanten 5-pin seems to be a cut indicating that Chito is the plan. But yeah, for Lucas, with that big gap to anybody who has room for chase, probably not that interested in putting himself in danger, just wants to maintain the current status of the point situation.
That should be a pawn for Kenyon. Ooh, is passed. I don't understand why.
Perhaps if that pawn was coming from the right, maybe she just wanted to draw.
Oh, just pass. Pass the Chun as well. I really don't understand what Kenyon's doing.
Yeah, doesn't want 3,900.
I like cutting 2-pin here if I'm Lucas. Okay, cuts the 5-1 instead, given there is a 4 out. Well, Kenyon says I'll just be able to draw a bunch of So tiles, so don't worry about me. And yeah, there's the backfire for Lucas.
Maybe even, yeah, thinking about holding this 4 because the 2-mon came out from the left, you would expect to see another one.
And I think the 2-pin looks very good on this board, which it does.
Of course, you never have to end up Kudit in here. You can always wait Shapo. And there's the 2
Well, there you go. It's an easy tempo, waiting 2-pin, 7-pin for Tiny Door 2 or 3. I imagine the 2-pin comes out from anyone except, oh, I imagine it comes out right now.
Absolutely.
And deals into 39, but on the other hand, that does also shut down Kenyon's monster that was building. Dealer here is Lucas. Nice little Pinfu, maybe Ipeco, maybe even shift towards a Junshun later, but unlikely. I think you should go for Riichi Pinfu. Ipeco Dora looks pretty good on the right. And then feels like it's just a Tanya. Well, it's got the 8-9, so across the way. Nice little shape in pin. The rest of the hand's okay. It's not like bad. It's not great. And on the left, nice shape in Mon, and the rest of the hand needs work. Well, dealer here is Lucas. Probably has the best hand here. Loses out on the Ipeco, but plenty of ways to upgrade back into it. And can, of course, use another door anytime. With a hand like this, you want to go Tanyao, but the shapes just aren't there.
Yeah, Kelly ever drop this penchant? What's going to be her head? Some interesting questions for Lucas to try to answer here. Of course, discarding one mon is a bit of an unfortunate
Yeah,
start.
you're very sad when that happens.
Ooh,
Oh,
but
well, now you could even hedge towards Honitsu. I'd cut 7 pin.
Yeah, this does give you an excuse to drop the penchant now.
Yep.
Maybe Itsu Brewing across the way for Alex has the door already said. Oh,
Oh,
hello,
2 Dora
pair.
for a dealer. That's a nice little draw. This is always 1 pin, I think.
Of course, we can upgrade to diamond shape around the 7 pin, but if we get Tempai, we're just slamming the Ricci most likely.
Yeah, Richidora 2 is dealer. Even on a garbage penchant's fine.
It turns out that penchant's not that bad. There are 3 in the wall through the 7 mon.
Ishan 10. No, it's not Ishan. That's a 5, not a 6. So still looking for the 6-9 to upgrade. Ugh. Well, I guess you... Well, do you even want this? Which looks better, the 8 or the... Yeah. There is an 8 already cut, so it's not even that much of an improvement.
And even if you draw the 6 pin, you can still switch at that point, even for potential Tanya.
Keenan has a lot of decisions. Cuts the 8 mon, thinks the 7's better. And of course, there goes to the 7, one of them. Of course, we know that's the only one in anyone's hand right now.
Oh,
Oh,
3.
well, what about a Dora Anko? This is always 7 pin, isn't it?
Yeah, 7 pin is most efficient. And you still have a Tanya Tonki if you do get the chance to cheat the 4 so.
Headless Ishan 10 across the way. Well, do you want a Tonki? You have 3 Dora. You can't do much with it. The problem is you don't really want the tile right next to what you just waited on. Oh, there's Tempai across the way for potential Ricci Dora 1. We'll Dama it. And that is not Tempai on the left. Ooh, south. How many of those are out? 2 are out. I don't think that helps much.
Lucas really looking for a Katagiri Ricci here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The problem with a hand like this is it's very hard to Karigiri.
There's so many pairs already.
No, there's our Tempai on the left.
And now you just chase with the 7? Or does Lucas say, I've got enough points, I'm out?
Just Dama is waiting on the 7.
Sumo.
Oh, Sumo.
Doesn't matter. Sumo's good enough. Sumo Dora. Of course, could have been a lot more points if you'd have reached it a while ago, but says, you know what, it's fine. I'll take the Sumo Dora. It's good enough.
It feels like the players at this table are being very cautious with their points, not willing to put themselves in the vulnerable position of declaring Ricci.
Now, dear, here's Kenyon has 2 Yakoi pair and a Dora now, so definitely going to be the best hand. I even looked at the others. I think it's the best hand. On the right,
Boom.
nice little Pinfu, possible Itsu now. It's definitely there across the way. Pinfu, not too much else. Might even just be Tanya out on the left. You'd love to go Honitsu, but it just seems a long way away.
Boom.
Meanwhile, Keenan says, yeah, have fun with that. I have 3 Han. Just throw the 2 pin for me, please.
Pon Pon Tapai, and the only issue here is that there are no pin cuts just yet.
Well, I don't think anyone really cares at this point. The 1 so would be a pretty big draw. That'd upgrade this to Mungon. The 1 so draw, that is. Or I guess the 1 pin.
The hand's actually close to Chanta here for Kenyon to try the 1 so.
That 1 so would lock in Shanta. No, the other side that you want to shift.
That Itsu's.
And there are the 1 so, and you just throw your hands up in disgust when you see that.
Wow, this...
Oh, that is a monster Ishan 10 there on the right. You cut... Oh, I don't like that. I'd absolutely cut 8 pin. You have Sanshoku. You have Itsu. That's a golden 1 away that was given up.
Yeah, it feels like Alex is trying to lock in the Nobutan weight if the other side doesn't
Alex
work out.
is probably scared of the Honitsu from the dealer.
Yeah, also not
But
dropping the
I
store
wouldn't be
one
reading
pin.
Honitsu, but it feels like that's the reason.
相撲
Just sumo. Okay, guys, you won't give it to me. I'll do it myself. And I believe that's extra foo. It is. Turning into a 7,800 point win.
Big win for Kenyon. Right back into the thick of things in this game. Can't even take first place with a good hand here. And this is a good hand.
Yeah, could go Honitsu Chun. Of course, the dream is always Daisongen, but when you have a couple floaters, that's very unlikely. On the right, couple pairs, maybe a Tanya, maybe even a Pinful, or even a Peiko. If you draw the 7, so the 7 Mon, the hand's a lot easier to play. Until then, you just play fish and see what happens. Across the way, Pinfu there, you have floating Dora, but the shapes aren't great. And on the left, it's a Pinfu, there's not really much value there. Of course, you do have the floating one, so Dora. There's a whole bunch of hands that are very meh. The best one's probably Kenyon's, but it still needs help too.
Now we'll see how long these dragons get held and if she can manage to turn this into the Honitsu.
Well,
Pump.
there's the Chun. That's an easy call. The question is, how greedy do you want to be? And the answer is not very. And there's the one so.
Dora pair. That's 4 pairs
Now
now.
4 pairs. Yeah, it's not great.
Pulling on one so there would have been quite funny.
I'd absolutely cut one so here. I don't want that in my hand. It doesn't fit. It's clear now, and it won't be clear later.
Agreed, yeah. Seems like a great opportunity to get that to pass.
Oh, well, now you just have the double south. I imagine it's a call and go. There goes the Dora.
ポン
And you see the hesitation, and this may just be a toy shift.
Yeah,
I'm not quite sure how you're going to get it. This is so far away. This maybe you just scare the table.
Call the
But
Dora,
the thing is,
find your
Kenyon's in a
Yaku.
position. This is a situation where Kenyon doesn't care.
Right.
Kenyon can't afford to care. And if this weren't session 6, I don't hate this that much. But as is, I don't think this is the right play. It was because it was the left one so and thought the rest of the shapes were too hard to handle.
Yeah, and there's still hope for this hand. I
Gee.
mean, find one more pair and you've got all your blocks. Lucas might probably never going to drop another Montel for the rest of the game. Same for honors.
Oh, well, Ishan 10 for Kenyon. There goes the south, and it's passed. So, yeah, if that's not being called, Lucas is done with this hand. And of course, the south feels pretty scary against the Dora 3 hand. May not even be thinking of the Honitsu that we're seeing. But figures, okay, Alex has to have something better than that.
Yeah, right now,
And
Alex
no, it was a prayer call.
can find, Yakuhai with the Haku effect gets paired up. Have an alternate route to value. In the meantime, clear Ishanten across the way for Richinomi. Potentially Peiko, though.
Yeah, and if you draw 2 so or 3 so, you may even just Dama, given where this hand is. Of course, cannot draw 2 Mon.
Truly a wait and see for Kidden. Can we draw any Mon tile? Oh, there's the Haku pair.
Okay, well, there's our Haku. You can't cut 7 so. And that's Tempai across the way. If you dare jam the 1, I would. I think I just hit the button here. Instead, Damas, because the 5 is actually dead. This is just an 8 so 8, but the 8 so are all on the wall.
Dropping the Haku here would accept the 8, but you're really expecting that
Yeah,
Alex
you
has
have
the
to
Haku.
call that for sure. And he does. And this is why Claire didn't, is he just gets to immediately say, nope, not touching it. But the 6 is a really bad tile here. Six pin isn't a good tile either. I imagine this will be a continued fold. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah,
Gee.
two hands you don't want to touch. Actually, Lucas Cheese is Ishanten, but I don't think he has any tile that he can push here in the Monzu.
And the 8-9 is still great in the wall. Kenya is the only one. And of course, if you draw the 8-9, you're just going to use it yourself. Oh,
Uh-oh.
that's so bad. You cut the 8, you throw it back.
Could you throw the 9 if
You
you think
have
that's
to keep
safer?
Tempai. You have to take Tempai. The question is which one. The 9 is technically the safe. There it is.
Oh.
There's going to be a call. Which one's going to be taken?
5 mon.
Takes the 5. Yeah, the 5's cleared. 1 9 and 2 8s in the wall.
Oh goodness, we're coming down to it. One more draw for Alex. Oh, there's the
It
8!
gets it! Haku, Dora 3. And the other problem here is Kenyon takes the Oyakaburi and will drop down to 27-9 in South 3. Alex desperately needed this result. First place at 45-5.
Oh, what a tense situation in that game. The call the Dora, find your Yaku later. Alex found his Yaku.
Did get it. I wouldn't have made that play, but managed to draw one Haku and then a second, and then called a third. That's always the downside of the Honitsu hand is you're going to keep those honors forever, so people will have time to wait on them.
Alex now with the lead, trying to confirm a first place to escape this danger zone. In really good position, and also a pretty decent high pie here. Potentially Peiko.
Looks to be just brute forcing Honitsu with this.
Honestly, yeah. All these.
And you have the 5-7-9. We'll see how aggressive it is, but that feels like it. But on the best hand, it's definitely the one on the right. That looks like Irichi, Pinfu, Tanyao. Type hand across the way, Chanta or Junchan. And on the left, a standard Pinfu hand, but desperately needs a Dora 3-pin.
A shot pair for the Chanta. Imagine there's more acceptance holding these 1s and 9s than there is holding the honor tiles, especially the ones cut ones.
Well, that's Ishun 10 on the right. Well, now it's not, because it doesn't really like the 3-mon shape, so that makes some sense then.
Yeah, 3-mon being twice cut.
There is the Shaw. That is a Yakuha. You can't just call it and not worry about it. I would. I'd take that.
Yeah, we've
Take
seen...
it, jam the 7. Don't worry about it. You have Sanchiku anyway. It's fine. And then, yeah, you could have called that. Instead, believing in the Chanta Sanchiku. Chanta Sanchiku Dora, potentially.
Yeah, we've seen Lucas play these hands very passively, saying West, pull? No. How about West as 2 safe tiles?
Well, there's Tempa. You have to take that.
2-pin now. The dealing tile, only 1 left in the wall. Although, depending on how
Might
things
come
go for
out from
Kenyon,
Kenyon based on how this shape is developing.
right. Now, if she's reading that Lucas is going for a Chanta here, she might cut the 5-pin instead. But
oh, well, now you have a choice.
yeah, honestly, the Shaba weight might have been better there, given the number of 2-pins that are visible.
You'd just be waiting on the Hellweight Shaw, so normally you'd wait on the 2-pin anyway. But yeah, it's 1 versus 2, and like, is anyone ever throwing the 2-pin? You're basically saying, I can draw it. You may be right. We'll see.
Again, there's a big question mark on the 2-pin in Kenyon's hand. The other reason to wait on the Shaw instead of the 2-pin is that...
well, now you can wait on either.
Yeah, I like the switch.
Now we'll do so.
Lucas...
And this 1 pin for Alex just feels like it's going to come out eventually. Just have a bunch of honors anytime, though.
And Kenyon will just throw the 7-9 instead of taking the 50-10. Yeah, Pinzu Honitsu for dealer definitely makes the pin weight seem a lot worse.
Oh, and wow. That's Ipeiko there on the left.
Okay.
4-10. Oh, no.
She had the Tempai last turn, said, there's no way I'm going to Tsumo.
The 4-10 Ipeiko.
It would have been Richipot Tsumo, Ipeiko,
Richipot Tsumo, Ipeiko, Dora.
Oh my goodness, that's tragedy. I think it was 100% the right decision, but... Where is that Shaw? That 1 pin.
Come on, where's my 1 pin? I know one of you guys has it. That's going to be a nice little upgrade here for dealer. Now, very whitey Shun 10. We'll almost certainly deal it on that 1 if it gets to Tempai.
Hilariously, though, if, say, the 9 pin comes up, Alex can pull in and wait Tonki on the 1 pin just because it seems
definitely could.
Kind of reasonable as a wait. Oh, we're just drawing.
Well, we're about to see which one's taken. Which is so wide.
Right? It goes the one pin. What a read!
Wow!
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
what a play from Alex. And this still allows you to, I guess you draw door, you Tonki on it.
Like, you could even cut the 9 pin if you want to just wait on the 2 pin then.
1、
Yeah, that's another option.
Tempai on the right on 6-9.
Well, we can
And
see.
Lucas is out, having drawn the 6s. I want nothing to do with this. So there is just one 6 pin left on the right. There is one 1 pin left for the dealer, though. Oh, and there's the Shah.
Lucas
Oh, but
got back
Lucas
at the
managed to
Senpai.
get into Tempai on the very last draw.
Wow.
And that's going to be a huge shift. Keeping ground, but also particularly rough on Kinyu to then have to pay out 3,000 instead of 1,500.
Everything in that hand was so incredibly wild.
All right, Alex's dealer here has a Pinfu type hand, nothing particularly special. On the right, we have a double south. You can just call that and go. That's actually Ishan 10 already. Jeez. Claire looking for some big value. The question is, do you even call it? No. And just throws the Dora right back. Wow.
Woohoo! Clear.
These are some wild plays. Across the way, a couple pairs, Pinfu, but not much else. On the left, nice little Ipeco shape, and a whole bunch of pairs there as well.
This could be draw, discard until Claire finds Tempai.
I don't mind passing the south, but if you're going to do that, I almost just want to cut the 6 pin. Because that way we call the last south, and then we can make our decision then as whether we want to go for the potential door or the good wait. Of course, there are also some shifts to a Sanshoku there. Not really what you're thinking when you have the double south, but it's possible.
Dealer as well. Ishanten.
For
Or-
Ricci, Pinfu, Ipeco.
Yeah, for the 6 pin. Itself buried in the wall. 4 7.
Well, there's one of those 6 pin, just 2 left. Could also just be Ricci Pinfu if you draw the 9 pin, or even Ricci No if you draw Pei or 5-so. Well, there's the 6. So 2, well, there it is. I mean, you just smash the button here.
1、
You can get super greedy and cut the 5-6-6, but you're already just Baka-hold anyway, so you just hit the button as is. And I think Claire is realizing maybe that south should have been called right about now.
1、
Yeah, I mean the weights seemed reasonably enough that you... and just then the third south
And that's
comes in.
really. Meanwhile, Kenyan Tempai on 2-5 pin for Tanyonomi.
Yeah, one reach stick, one homba.
Force looks really bad, but it's one of those, what else are you going to do? You may be able to just throw the 6, then maybe the 7, but the 7 isn't good. Oh, well, there's a nice little Ishanten across the way for Lucas.
Tone past.
East is safe. East is safe. Should be east.
And Tuso is question
Oh,
mark.
yeah, Tuzo is Suji. So keeping the relatively safe tile for now. Oh, there's Dora. Does pass.
The heck is
And Lucas Ruff said, oh, thanks for clearing that for me. Nice 8 pin looks awful, but again, there's not much you can do at this point.
1、
How are these
Good
weights
call
looking?
for Tempai. Will do so. Waiting on 2 pin, 2-mon. 2 pin with double Roan.
4、
Instead deals the 5, which only deals into Kenyon. Will be glad to take 2,300. Try and salvage something here. Put herself in position to at least get to 30K and all last. Dealer here is Claire. It's 2 door and a few other pairs, but it feels like it's too long away from a Chitoy or almost anything. You just play normal efficiency. And that's a nice little starting draw with the 4-mon on the right. That's just a Pinfu, nothing special there either. Across the way, maybe a Junchan with some shifting, otherwise just a Pinfu. And on the left, it's again just a Pinfu. You have some honors you like to pair up to maybe do something with, but the rest of the hand just pointing towards boring, straightforward play.
Claire's completed a shape already, but still too many pairs, and chooses to get rid of the Shah as a result. Two souls live in the wall, 6-pin live in the wall. So although these shapes aren't that great for Claire, decent chance that she's able to just draw it.
Well, we always say the best way to build a hand is just sumo. The best way to win a hand is just sumo.
Oh, 1-pin's big for Kenyan. That's a chance
That's a
to
huge
Shanta.
draw for Kenyan. It definitely go Chanta now. Chanta Haku Dora gets you over 30K.
We've seen Kenyan
And
in this
doesn't
game.
even think about it. Just throws the 4 right away. Says, I
Right.
don't need the better shape. These are my shapes. Forget it. It will be Ishunten. And you have... Wow! Kenyan going for the green. Feels she needs points.
I mean, given where the cut line is right now, it makes some sense. We saw Kenyan pass calls a lot earlier in the game. Continues to do so even at this late stage. Claire
Potential
now.
Itsu upgrade building for Claire. Could just cut the 5-7 pin.
Let's move in that direction.
There's our Tempai. No, it's not Tempai. My mistake. Because it wasn't called, that's not Tempai.
There's still one more Haku in the wall, and if we do have a Richi waiting on 9-pin Haku, I'd feel pretty good about that.
Okay. Dealer says, you know what? It's just Itsu Dora 1. We're not going to get fancy here.
Slightly upgraded shape in the upper Sozu.
I'd cut the Dora here. The 2 actually does help this hand. Yeah, there you go. Because you have to win on the 7 for the Itsu, the 9 actually does nothing there.
Boom.
There it is. And now you can pull in for Tempai. You're waiting on 7-mon for Itsu Dora 1. Well played by Claire.
2 7-mon in the wall.
And it's obviously never coming out from Kenyan, but of course you can just draw another one and then definitely would come out from Kenyan.
Chi.
What? What
Yes.
on earth is that chi?
K10 call. Super early.
That is so early. I don't know about this one. I do have pretty strong feelings about this. No, I hate it. I hate that call.
Last Haku. 7 so. Ooh, what do you keep here? Which 998 shape?
It figures the 9 just came out. If I have to draw it myself, I'd rather try and draw the 9 so. That is actually correct, because no one actually has a 9 so.
Notably, if Claire wins this hand, we will see another one. She keeps stringing along. Dealer wins until she makes a comeback. Can Alex find Tanya after this 3-mon draw?
At this point, I would just play for K10. Yeah, that seems to be the play here. There's Haku. You have to take this one. Oh, won't get thrown.
Not yet.
Definitely some concern here. I imagine you get Tempai, it'll definitely get thrown, though. Though you have to take that for sure.
Alright, so Sanchoku.
And now the Haku's actually clear. Oh, the 7.
If Alex is reading Sanchoku, we might not want to drop it though in 789.
Yeah.
Oh, let's it go.
Oh, there it goes. Does deal in. Not to the person who may have thought, but it is Itsudora 1. Claire again shutting down a Kenyan hand. We've seen so many of these Kenyan building these amazing hands, not calling and end up falling behind, and then just doesn't win at the end. But dude, here is Claire. I mean, this could be a Jun-chan as well, but with 2 door, I think you just play it normally. Straightforward Pinfu type hand on the right, though that is just Ichinitsu. There are other ways to play it, but I don't want them. I want points. Across the way, bunch of disconnected tiles. It's probably eventually a Pinfu, but it's a long way off. And on the left, we have a Chun pair. Call and go. The question is, you also want to go for Honitsu. I think in first place, you don't have to. Especially now with that 4-so draw. You don't even really have to think too hard about it.
Alex bleeding out a little bit of points here. Gives Lucas a chance to take first. And yeah, she needs to be... Oh my goodness. Shaw, Shaw, Shaw. And no, this is not a Eurovision reference. Just clear some really unlucky draws. And we will see
Well,
Alex with
Ishan
the...
10 on the left for Alex. Just needs the 3-6 mon and the 2-5 so.
Seems very strong position to confirm first place. And even stronger
Well,
now.
perfect Ishan 10 can even call the East at this point. Thing is, Dealer kind of wants the East, it looks like.
That's true. But Claire, if she makes any improvements here, will be bound to discard that away.
I don't know about that. Claire's just trying, almost feels like she's trying to fold out. I don't know why you would be in fourth place like this, but
Kind of feels like a
try to
Chanta
brute force the
force.
Chanta maybe too much. I feel there's a bunch of efficiency lost this way.
I mean, when your first
And
three
the hand
cuts,
didn't need it with 2 Dora. That's the thing.
when your first
Well,
cuts to
there's
the
our
west, maybe
Tempai.
it's a
Which one do you
sign.
wait? I would absolutely wait Champon here. The 2-5 is awful.
Yeah, although Claire does make that shift into Chanta will deal in. Not anymore. 3-4-5 drawn. And all of a sudden,
Meanwhile, Lucas is like, I mean, just give me a few more draws. Meanwhile, Kid is like, just give me a few more draws.
They're both getting very close here. Ishanten for Kenyan, for Ichi, Pinfu, Dora, or Tanya, whichever she draws into.
And there's the East. I mean, even just where this hand is, I'd still call it. Like, I hate this 2-5 weight.
Eight pin.
That's a pawn. Absolutely pawn.
The question is
Probably trying to see if you want to cheat. You could cheat this. Yeah,
Chi.
Chi actually may be better here.
There's actually Itsu chance here for Hanemon.
That'd be an awkward way to do it, but yeah. Now the 5 may come out. Or it may just be the 9, so we'll see.
It's clear to suspect the 5 so's bad here. No, will deal in.
There it is. Deals in. Does manage to pick up the 1300, and Alex desperately needed that.
Big result
We'll
for
get
Alex.
a 27.6 overall. Lucas just casually hanging in. Nothing big, nothing really small. Plus 11. Kenyan drops, is sitting there in third at minus 7.9. Just keeps sinking and is running out of games. Just has 2 left and sitting way down there. And Claire takes a minus 30.6, but still in at least reasonable position overall. Given the first game result is sitting overall at minus 8.6.
Yeah, and it looks like this table will probably be finishing their series at a later point. I'm not seeing a game pop up for them. And that means there is one final series to go this evening, and that is
Wenchen, Huang, Kaz, and Travis out of B1.
all right. Let's go boot it up. Looks like they're already in session, so just a minute to load that up. And there were some B1 games earlier that we didn't get the chance to look at. I'm very curious to see what the layout for the B1 division looks like after we load that up. And there will be a little bit of lag as we enter the game, but we'll go ahead and see where we stand at the current moment.
Well, I'd say we came in just in time. There's a Ricci for Ricci Hatsu, waiting on 2-5 mon.
We'll just leave the perspective here as they determine the result of this Ricci. And if Travis folds out here, we might see it take a long time before a resolution.
Oh, no, it just deals in. And the problem here is pawning that 1. You've kind of forced yourself into this. I don't know what the plan was on that. It ends up dealing into a Ricci Hatsu with a whole bunch of foo. 50 foo there, so not a cheap deal then. Well, dear, here is Kaz with a potential Junja. Never mind, that's immediately shifts you towards either Itsu or Sanshoku. can do either with that draw. I like the 5-pin cut. On the right, a whole bunch of outside tiles. You may even just go Honitsu and So with the Hatsu. Oh, Hatsu's Dora, so you don't have to think too hard. You just calling up. Maybe you get Honitsu on top of it. I think where Travis is in the stands, if I remember right, desperately could use a big hand like that. Across the way, we have, of course, the 2-3-4 Sanshoku. And a floating Dora there, maybe potentially Dora Tonki, maybe a bit away though. And on the left, we have a bunch of pairs, but not too much else. Maybe an Apeiko with a 4-pin or 5-pin draw.
Right, and as these hands come together, we have got the correct players in. So you're right, Travis is right on the cut line, as is Long as well. Very tight situation.
And dealer here looking for the Itsu. Kaz, of course, would love a 6-mon draw, but honestly, if 2-pin, 9-so, or 3-pin are all fine. Could even call this, but I would pass. Because if you do end up with a Shampoo, the 9-so is so disgusting.
Yeah, Suji trap 9, so Travis might even deal in pots in that situation. Depending on what the shape looks like upon finding
You have to call
Chi.
that one. That's an easy chi. Now you have some questions of how you want to play the hand. Yeah, just going to go for the Hatsu. And there it is, delivered as asked for. Travis now with Dora 3 showing.
Because momentarily considering the 9-so pull into Tempai, but
Ishan 10 now on the right for Travis.
not willing to go Atosuke.
And Ishan 10 across the way as well for potentially Richie Pin Fuitsu there, also in Mon.
Three, so maybe a little bit
3-so,
concerning.
it's unlikely you'd need it twice. Now, you could call that 6 and take Tempai, waiting on just the 1. Oh, well, doesn't matter. Just Subo.
Shuts down the Dora 3 hand on the right.
And with that, Huang will shut that down, and we are in East 4. Travis Dealer here. Bit of a Ryankan now. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 Mon. I hate that shape. I hate that shape so much. On the right, maybe a 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. Definitely heading that way, getting rid of the 1 Mon, especially with 3 Mon being Sanshoku. Across the way, it's a pin fu hand, but the shapes need a little bit of work. 6-pin would help immensely. On the left, we have a pay cut and a pay call with 2 Dora. And ooh, that's already very nice little Ishan 10.
So many good options for that hand. Even if you end up pairing something up, there's a chance to make Mongon.
Well, here you can just call the 3 Mon if it comes and wait 3-6.
Of course, Travis unlikely to discard that out, but there is still 1 Dora left in the wall.
Well, Tempai now waiting on 5-pin. This is one where there are a bunch of ways to upgrade this shape too.
Yeah, any something like a 3-pin or a 7-pin would work. Also, drawing an Onko of any of these shapes would also improve the weight.
2 and Totsu would definitely be a nice little boost.
That 5 fits
well,
in hand.
That is Headless Ishan 10 for Dealer. There's only 1 5 left in the wall, but the problem is that 5 for Huang doesn't really fit.
From where this hand started to where it is right now, Travis has made a lot of good progress. Just by dropping.
And there's our 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku play there on the right by Wenshin. Okay, well, that will
5-8.
Yeah, that is the normal play there. Just wait on the 5-8. Of course, unfortunately for Kaz, the 8s are kind of being locked up there on the right. So 2 of those and 1 5.
Travis did find Tempai currently Tonki on 7-mon, but how about Hatsu? That's dead.
That would be a Hellway. That'd be, yeah, not even Hellway. It's completely dead.
So we'll just wait another turn.
That'd be, yeah, it doesn't really do anything. And that, oh, you feel so bad. Because you would have taken it last turn, too.
Right.
It would have been a Patsu.
6-9 is Furitan.
Well, that's Furry 10.
Each.
That's so frustrating. And this is one where you're gonna do it, and you go, oh no. And then you see what didn't I oops. Oops.
Wenso
We've all
also,
been there.
yeah, Wenso also would have been 50-10. I mean, it also could be deliberate, just saying
Sumo.
I need to
Doesn't matter,
chase
just
people
sumo.
off. Yeah, Kaz does steal
Does
it
donate
away.
an extra stick there, and Kaz will extend this lead into 39,200 as we head into South Round. All right, dealers Wenchen with a possible 456 Sunshu maybe, especially with that draw. And maybe some Tanya shifts, but unlikely on the right. It's a Pinfu, but I think the best play would be towards an Itsu in So across the way. That's also a Pinfu. Maybe an Itsu in Mon, but I think you just play efficiently. And on the left, that looks like a Honitsu in So. Of course, we'd love to call that Hatsu and start going.
The Udora draw it in. Travis
Draws
doesn't even
Dora,
think about
doesn't
it.
even think about it. Well, after having cut the 3, you've basically made that decision.
Pump.
On 7 mon, and there it is. Complete commitment, as expected from
Says,
Travis.
I'm not even really thinking about it. And again, Travis and Huang are the cut. So Travis is on the good end and Huang is on the bad end right now. But they're both fighting for their lives here in B1. Wenchen is basically secured a promotion spot at this point. Kaji's trying to stay out of danger.
Yeah, if these positions stand as they are here in South 1, Huang and Travis would change positions.
Dealer Ishan 10 for Ricci, Pinfu, maybe Dora.
Finally an upgrade, any So tile for Travis, and it was a good one. 7 So really helps those shapes.
Well, there's another Dora, and there's another Dora, and you're sitting here as Wenchen. Why couldn't I have drawn one of those?
Right, I'd be Tempai with Ricci, Pinfu, Dora.
Chi.
Well, in the meantime, we do have Tempai, but it's just a Tanya waiting on 3-6. Well, there's the Tempai. I might just smash the button
Ricci.
anyway. There it is. Ricci Pinfu waiting on 5-8 so.
4 in the walls, pretty good. And Kaz might have a difficult time folding here. Oh, I guess you have 8-8
You're gonna
and
try
the
and brute
4.
force it though. Oh, Pei Tomki with confirmed Itsu.
Wow.
Ooh, fun hand there for Travis. It's a hellweight pay and switches to the tune, which is much better. All 3 of those are left, but one is in the hand to the right, which may come out, but unlikely to, just given the way the hand is. This should just be a 4-so cut.
It's 50-10, but it is Tempai again, and it's a safe way to get there.
Don't really worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Travis just going for it.
Sumo.
And
And
there
that's
it is.
why.
Castile's
Just sumo. We say it all the time. It's a very simple game.
another hand robbed. Just don't declare reach against Kaz. He'll sumo.
All right. Well, Huang is dealer here as 2 Dora and a Chun pair. This is very much a call and go hand. On the right, Pinfu, Tanyao, maybe except a Dora 3-mon later across the way. To Pinfu, not too much else. I guess you have 1 Dora with that 1-2-3. And on the left, Haku pair, you probably just call and go. The question is, get Honitsu, and the answer is probably not. I think you should take anything there, because that's so far from regular hand. The question is, do you call anything? Ooh, this should definitely be 8-so, because if you draw the 3, you can just take the Ipeco. Or you want to get super greedy, you can go Chitoy and pray, but I don't think Chitoy actually even makes this more valuable. Whoa, 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 whoa. And passes the Haku. I mean, I was kind of joking about this, but this is now Chitoy Ishan along with a regular hand.
Yeah, but you don't expect to cut a pair and then switch to Chitoy. That is a little unusual. If the 2-pin had been retained, this would be Chitoy Tempai, right?
I prefer not having Chitoy, just generally. It's a personal rule.
I think this was just a play for the widest shape, but interestingly, passes the Haku. That is a little odd.
Yeah, I don't like the Haku pass. That's really the only thing that's genuinely confused me.
Although I will say, like, Wenchen is at the top of B1, and in no danger of not promoting. So he can play however he likes and can't
Yeah,
really
true
complain.
enough. Get to sit down and look at everyone down below you and laugh.
I imagine that he's playing this positionally and says, I'm not going to call for 1,000 points when that's not going to change position here. And I have a good enough shapes to do something better.
Now, dealer's stuck here and he's shunting hell wondering, where are my tune? And actually, I'm wondering the same thing. Where are the tune?
Ooh.
Oh, there's an Ipeco pickup there on the right. I mean, you got 5-7, so.
Yeah, that would make sense, but the three mon
You
four
do
mon
have the
card,
overlap, which is the problem.
3 mon 4 mon is very funny for Sancho Kuchans. Of course, 5-7 is the one
No.
that makes sense.
I know how much both. Well, there's our tune. Ask and you shall receive. You could even Dama this. The question is, which one do you want? And will Dama this, waiting on the 3. This is Tune Dora 2. Ooh, that's such a wide hand, but you can't break temp by at this point.
No.
It's row 3 and you have value. And there's the 4, and feel a little sad. You're like, that feels like it was a pair, a cut to confirm a pair, which we know it was.
Pong.
There's the Haku, and when she's like, finally, I guess we'll take it. But in the meantime, we see the Sumo Chundora 2, and Huang will jump into first place with that.
That's a huge result for Huang.
And, you know, I mentioned that stupid C word, and now I'm seeing a lot of them, and I'm much less happier than I was like maybe 3 minutes ago.
There's a T word there
Pong.
to change things.
Okay, I feel better. It's not Cheat Toy. Screw Cheat Toy. Poland's the North. We'll probably plan to go Toy Toy with it, and we'll redeem himself here. Although now it's not even a Toy Toy. You just call for the Haku. On the right, a few pairs. Oh no, it's going to be Toy Toy, isn't it? Okay, look at the rest of the hands. No, it's not. But a possible Itsu there on the right. And across the way, nice little Pinfu Tanyao hand. And on the left, I mean, it's just a Pinfu, but it's a long way away.
It's just a matter of time before the Haku comes out, and then we'll have a nice 2-5 so win,
Pong.
presumably.
Yep, and we'll take it there. This is Hakunomi waiting for 2-5 with Hakudor 1. And there it is.
Yeah, shame there for Kazos.
And
Building a
yeah,
nice
it's a huge
Itsu.
pickup because, as we mentioned, Hong is in the demotion zone, and this game will, barring complete collapse, get him out, though. But we'll be here in South 2-2. Dealer here is Huang again with a possible 5-6. Sorry about that. 6-7-8 or 7-8-9 Sanshoku as a potential. Also, Dora draw 9. You may just go Tanya on the right. I mean, it's a Pinfu, but everything just a complete mess with the hand. The more I look at the hand, the less I like it. That's where I take one look at it and go, is this just Kokushi? And they're going to hedge towards the Honitsu at that point. Figures the hand is just awful. Across the way, it's a Ricci Nomi hand, most likely. There's possibly Peiko upgrade in Pin, but you have that 6-6-8-8. So, of course, the real dream is always a Rian Peiko, but you already have that 1-2-3, so that's unlikely. And on the left, actually, Ishunten already for Ricci Pin Fu Possible Dora.
Yeah, and this 3, 4, 5, 6 shape just overflowing here. Don't even need that because you already have your pair
Well, now you can
confirmed.
just cut the 3 because you could even potentially wait on the Shaw.
You really
I think given the fact that you would be waiting on Dora if you take the 4-7, that's what you would choose. But this does let you accept the Shaw and the 9-mon.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Coming back to dealer, the door was discarded. So I think there was a misclick.
I think that was a misclick too, because this would be a very nice Ishunten if that 4 had not come out.
Still, Dion Shanten for that Sanshoku, and hey,
Just draw it back.
welcome back, Dora.
Although, honestly, you'd rather have a pair here, but...
That's okay. There's only so much you can do when tell you didn't want to leave your hand, does leave your hand. And Tenpai.
Oh, well, there you go. Tenpai, Tanya Dora 1 could Dama. And this is something Huang's been doing a lot. He's just had so many Dama. In fact, I want to pull his stats right now.
You go ahead and do that. I'll look at the hand on the right because we've got Kaz holding two of those winning tiles, but also moving closer to this Honitsu hand. Could even be Menhon Chitoi, potentially. And the south is twice cut, so we're not going to be calling for double south here. It's going to have to be Chitoi most likely at this point.
All right, well, I'm looking at it, and it's not that he hasn't been Ricci. Is it Ricci rates 23%, open rates almost 40, it's 33.1%, but has just been taking a lot of Dama wins. The overall win rate at what, 26%? Yeah, 25.9%. And it's because there have been a lot of cheap wins. This is the end result of Dama, and also one of the big reasons I hate Dama, is the average win value is 38.86, which is way lower than the league average. But when you're running a 26% win rate, you can definitely afford that.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Lucas is staying at the top of A1. But we do see Wenchen, as a result of the Dama, able to freely push the hand, takes a Dama of his own, and will take the win to make some room in third place over the fourth place player.
All right, Kaz Dealer here in South 3. Potential Ricci Dora 1 hand looks the most likely here. Needs the 7 Mondora, the 8 So, and one other shape. On the right, it's a Pinfu type hand, maybe a Junshun shift later, but unlikely. Across the way, probably the best hand with a Shaw pair, which is Yakuai, and an Onko of the Hatsu. So that could just be Chanta, Hatsu, Sanchuku even, with a 1, 2, 3. On the left, it's a, I want to say Pinfu hand, but not really. It feels like a Ricci Dora 1 type hand. You have all these awkward pairs, and I'm not quite sure what you do. I honestly want to cut 9x9 mon and use this as a 4-6 plus 6-8 shape.
Same.
And then kind of figure out anything else later.
And we did see Dora drawn by Dealer and a second shape found. So this is Ishanten with potential shift into 789 Sachiko course if you draw the 9 pin.
Ishanten for Dealer, of course. Looking for the Ricci Dora 1 would be a bad shape regardless.
At least a slight improvement for Talexep with this 7 So pickup, but it also, yeah, the shift to second
No,
Dora.
well, now another Dora's drawn, so you have a real decision here.
You could just cut 9 So and hedge. Goes with the 5 instead.
Goes for the greed here. I think 9 So gives you the most options. You can even cut 7 So if you want to be super cheap on it and try and set up a potential trap later. I think 9 So is more standard. There's a Chi for a Tanyao. That is Ishanten for what would be Tanyao Dora 1. Of course, we see the 6s are starting to disappear as now there's only one left. One's been called, one's been discarded, and one is Dora Indicator. So it'd be very hard for Kaz to win this hand.
Finally, the Hakuli. Whoa, North pair up.
That's an interesting little draw. Across the way, do we cut the 2-3? Yeah, that's going to be the play.
Yeah, there's some interesting draws that could happen here. The Shaw again, still in the wall. Also, a Pei is at the wall. Oh, no, Pei's
well,
twice
that's
cut.
an upgraded shape there on the left. Nice little pickup. I mean, you just have to throw the Dora, don't you? Yeah. You're never happy about it, but it's like, okay, whatever. And there's Ishanten across the way. Oh, no. The only backfire in the wall of the last 6 mon is another Dora, and there goes your Onko. You feel really sad about that. Oh, but okay, gets rewarded. Will Dama here, waiting on 3 6 mon for Kinfu, Dora 1, possible Itsu.
6 mon. There are 0 in the wall for the Itsu.
Each.
And it says, okay, you've called twice, I'm not going to mess around anymore.
Sumo.
Oh, just Sumo. Tanya, Dora 1, big pickup there for Huang. Pulls in 2,000 and the Ricci stick, and has a chance to pick up a huge win here, which he desperately needed to manage to stay here in B1.
In the meantime, Dealer Travis is looking to stave off a big 4th place. Is this a high pie that can do it?
Well, it's not that bad, honestly. It's definitely a Ricci Pinfu hand. You'd love Tanya as well. there's potential here. It's even callable, but it's going to be very difficult to do so. On the right, it's a Pinfu hand there as well. You'd have a Dora, but you have that penchant in that 2-4-4-6-6 shape. Isn't great across the way, south pair, so you can't just call and go, which in first place makes perfect sense. On the left, you see 2 Dora. You look for Shisco Tanya, but the shapes aren't completely there yet.
Well, there's the call. If
ポン
I think
Huang
you
wants
just
it.
hit the button. Yeah, good call there by Huang. The hand's just not going anywhere, and you have such an incentive to just end this game.
No Honba. Oh, nice.
Oh, huge draw there. Fills the penchant.
Currently, no way for Huang to hit Kaz below 30,000. It would just be 2,000 maximum,
Yeah,
even with
and
a Dora.
you feel that, oh, I may have lost 5 points. But you know what? If I win this, that means he didn't.
Right.
1
That takes that. Now the question is which way? We'll keep the floating 8-pin near the Dora, although I don't actually like it that much because the 9s are all dead.
Right.
So if you draw the 7, you're basically fishing for Dora. And the 5-mon, on the other hand, might be okay, but it also feels like the expensive suit on the board right now. I think I'd have kept the 3, so.
We do see a second Dora pair up, this time for Wenshin on the right, but again, that hand is its own has its own awkward
Well, yeah, would have kept the 3,
blocks.
so. Still Ishunten for Huang. Everyone else's hand is a little bit away still.
And Yuan Shanten
That
for
is also the
Kaz
last 9-pin.
would have a really awesome hand. If you
Okay, there's our Tenpai across the way, waiting on 3-mon, 6-mon for non-Nomi. Would be perfectly good result. Dealer now, Ishunten for Tanya Dora 1.
相撲
Oh, just Sumo. That's a huge result for Huang, who desperately needed this. Will be not only out of the demotion zone, but significantly clear of it here, almost hitting 50,000 with a plus 34.4. Kaz gets 6.8. Wenshin takes a minus 12.1. And Travis, though, is going to drop quite a bit and can't really afford it, take a minus 29.1.
it will actually dip, I think, into 18th place.
Yeah, we'll be down quite a bit after that, and the cut line will technically rise because Huang had such a good result that Huang is technically still the last person in B1, but you see the huge difference between him and Sichuan at 0.1. That is as small as it gets, and a huge drop between Huang and Patrick, who's the first demoted at minus 108.5.
That being said, the other 3 players still really closely contesting each other. So if Huang drops back down, it could be very tense final games here. 2 games have completed for this B1 group, and I'm not seeing a third one coming into session for them. So it looks like they may be looking to finish this another day.
Yeah, let's see. Oh, the A1 table started back up.
Oh,
They were apparently taking a break.
I guess I know exactly where we're going next. So we'll be probably seeing the conclusion of this A1 table. And if that's the case, then we'll have 2 groups in A1 completely finished by the 3rd day of this session, which is extremely rare.
All right, this is game 3. They've apparently been going on for a while, about 15 minutes in. So, of course, we're on a 5-minute delay. It'll be 10 minutes in. And we see Claire is currently in first place, sitting at 35.5.
With Arichi as dealer.
Oh, it sounds like they're only doing the 3rd today. I'll then probably decide as to how they want to handle the promotion, demotion, etc. But for now, this will be the last game of the day, it sounds like. But Claire is Ricci here. Ricci Pinfu on the 1-4. Of course, we see those 1 just don't fit into anyone's hand. But overall, Claire is currently the leader at the table at 35.5. Everyone else is basically tied, sitting around 28,000. Technically, Kenyon's 500 below in last place, but 27.5 is certainly within range of everything. And that is the last 1 pin, so Claire is now drawing to 1 remaining 4 No, two. Yeah, one remaining 4-pin. Because it was also the first discard. A rather strange first discard by Alex, but you see this hand. It feels like it was a brute force Chanta that never got there.
And it looks like everyone's going to be bailing here. So it's just, can Claire draw the last one? 2 draws left for her. Moving in the direction of Ryukyoku, but still one more to pass.
Now, just one left in the wall, so this is what, a 1 out of 18 draw. And that's not it. So Claire will be honestly perfectly fine picking up 3,000 here. It's like, yeah, it'd be nice to win, but as long as I have to split the Ricci sticks, it's fine. Especially when you don't have like an actual value hand. That's just Ricci Pinfu.
Right, and here
But
he's...
here has a nice little Ipeko potential with a 5-so or 8-so draw. And this Penchon 1-2 needs to be filled, but overall not a bad hand, just not too much value on the right. Pinfu type hand, maybe a 7-9 Sanshiko across the way Hatsu pair. That may just be a calling, especially with 2 Dora, so I guess that's one where you don't have to think too hard when you see that 2 Dora on the left. Few pairs. Like, maybe you should go Tanya with it. I'm not really seeing too many other paths.
If the third door were to come out, would you call if you're for Lucas?
Sure. I mean, it's going to scare the table, but yeah, I'd do it.
Yeah, Haku still alive, so...
Well, I mean, now you're getting another pair that's 4, or even like, do I have to go Cheat-Toy? And that's a definitive no. I'm not going Cheat-Toy. Screw Cheat-Toy. I approve.
And here's the Haku, out it comes.
Boom.
Now, the question is, which one do you cut? The 6 is actually the most efficient cut. That's what a lot of people say. I like that mid-tile. Well, the problem is, that means most of the time that your weight's going to end up being in the middle. You want it on towards the outside if at all possible.
Oh, connects to the middle
And
Montel.
Ishan 10 now.
Blocks are set. Of course, you can upgrade.
Speaking of Cheat-Toy, dealer Cheat-Toy, Ishan.
Cheat-Toy only currently.
And see, I wonder if you just wanted to cut 5-pin there instead.
Yeah, with
If you're really thinking Cheat-Toy, you'd cut 5-pin.
perhaps a signal that Claire is not really committed to Cheat-Toy here. I mean, there are enough shapes that you could walk away from that. For
Now,
example,
you're feeling really bad because your big upgrades are that 5-8-so, and they're kind of dying.
right. 6-pin draw,
We
though.
see 2 of them. It feels like Kenyon has a bunch. She only has 1, but you'd think she has a Honitsu and So from that pond. And we know where they all are. They're on the left. Could pull this for Tanyao, which, considering the value of the pot, I probably would consider.
Reach stick for Hombas 2000.
Tempai across the way now. That's going to be an 8-mon, 1-mon Shampon.
3 tiles live in the wall, including both Dora. Oh, this is an
It would be a
interesting
huge
choice.
pickup for Lucas if he can get this one.
How committed is Kenyon to this 789 Sanchoku?
Shouldn't be. I mean, the pawn that's being shown from Lucas screams mon weight.
And even Claire is hesitating on the 7. Might just go, yeah, 5-pin and then 9-9, so...
Yeah, that seems perfectly reasonable. And this is also your best path to Tanyo anyway. I'd pawn. 100% I'd pawn. And could have taken the weight shift there for Lucas to the 3-6, but didn't want to give up the value.
The other option was to Katagiri the 5-mon instead of the Tsumugiri 2-mon. I don't know if that would have made any significant difference.
I don't know what Claire's doing. Is very afraid of this 9 is all I can guess. But considering the 6 passed, I don't have any clue why. I guess it's technically Shompai.
And maybe since Kenyon... Oh,
Well, that, on the other hand, is not coming out.
Nope.
I mean, this is what... If you deal in, you deserve to deal in.
And Claire's not going to deal in for sure.
And so Luke is going to have 3 more draws barring interruption to the last 1-1.
Similar situation to where we were in the last hand. Seems to be a very quiet game so far.
Claire to Chitoi Ish on 10. The 5 is safe.
And even if Claire had maintained the 9,
That
so
6 is a push. That is a real push. That's a pretty gutsy push. Well, then the question remains, will Lucas Haite? Nope. 1 draw off, but that's going to be 1 player tempai then. And everyone looks at it, yeah, that 1-4 Suji looked really, really bad. I am still a bit wondering about that 6-month throw by Kenyon. That seemed really aggressive for no reason.
the only thing I can think is that Kenyon thought Lucas was Ishan 10 and wanted him to be Tenpai for some reason.
Well,
Like,
Kenyon on this situation has by far the best hand. Can call and go here. Needs the Haku, though, and there aren't any of them out. Oh my goodness, look at this.
shut that
But
already.
across the way, we see Alex has called the West. I mean, you see that 5 Homba and 1 Ricci stick, and everyone's like, I want, gimme, gimme, gimme. Kenyon Ishan 10. Of course, recall the Haku would be headless.
Home.
But with good weight regardless of how it gets filled.
Yep.
Of course, Kenyon wants to stay close for a Ricci here, but with 2 calls, do you just have to
Oh, what
open
about
up?
Toy Toy across the way?
Too bad we don't have that Sanzo back. Could find ourselves with a Doko situation.
Nah. I don't think you'd ever use it unless that pairs up too. And even then, the 3 is a really hard Doko to get.
Hey,
It tends to almost always be 1, 2, 8, or 9.
like the first 2 Dokos that I saw in Armel were both four Dokos.
Yeah, that's so strange because that meant people were probably just going a little too aggressively towards Chanta. Oh, there's Tempai. You just smashed the button here.
Beach.
It is Ricci Nami, but who cares? You have the value.
The value
There's one
sitting
of
in the
those
middle of the
threes that
table.
Alex desperately was looking for. May see the South come out. Tumon? What? Oh, the Sotogawa to the 3.
Right. Also, the pawn making it 1 chance. Alex is dancing, but we'll probably just call for Tempai if he gets there because...
Yeah, that's almost certainly the play here. I mean, if you get Tempai, there's too much value here not to just take it. Now, it should look like this is a fold as well.
Wow, tile's running thin now. Small note on the
Oh,
fold.
well, now you have the Suji.
I slightly
Sees all the 5s and sees the 6 is actually 1 chance. He's definitely reading the South as dangerous tile.
prefer
This is
if
just 6 pin, obviously.
Alex had Karagiri the first 1 pin. So you go Karagiri, make it look more like a fold.
And yeah, there's the fold. Held it as long as possible, but this 5-1 is so bad. And there's the 3, and of course Alex looks at that and goes, yeah, I kind of figured.
Mm-hmm.
And you can get back. The 5's actually Nakasuji now, I believe. Yeah, I just shoved the 5.
Big question marks on this one, so though.
Well, you can make that decision later. Now, we haven't even talked about how many of the 5-8 are left. We see 2 on the left, 3 on the right, 1 discard. It's a 2 left.
Yeah, both of them ate so. Well,
Yeah,
one.
there's one less.
Is that how close is that hand? It should be Ishant then.
Yeah, I think that's
Pong.
Ishan 10 as well. No,
There
it's
is.
Tempai waiting on 7, so. Yeah, it's waiting on 7, so.
Yeah, after the call now.
Yeah, 6 pin and 6 so is safe there.
Still
This
maintaining
is a
Tempai.
4-sided. Let's see.
Shabo.
Oh, yeah, it's just Shumpon, you're right. And
Sharing the weight.
Chun is fine and says, hey, I'll get the points for that. And those are so frustrating. Great weight as dealer. They're all on the wall. You just miss all of them. And now just everyone's drooling at the. Oh my goodness, though. Look at what Kenyon has.
They're both.
Not really callable is the only
Right.
real issue with this hand.
I mean, you might just
And it
throw the
immediately
pair
just
out.
says, we're going to cut the pen, Sean. It's fine. On the right, I don't know, maybe Chanted. That is a mess of a hand. Across the way, that's also a mess of a hand. Maybe an Itsu. Gives up the Itsu even. Says, this hand just play fish to see what happens. Now a door has been drawn by dealer. And on the left, maybe 1, 2, 3 Sanchiku, but that's a mess too. Kenyon by far the best hand.
I mean, if Kenyon pairs up the Dora, even in this current state, it might just be callable for Honitsu. Oh, Cheat
No,
Toy?
it's Chitoy. And I'd probably just Dama if I were waiting on the Hatsu this early. Especially with all this value. There's
Pin.
Aria to even cut 5 so here, but okay, cuts the 7. Definitely wants this Suji Trap 2 pin potential.
Yeah, looks pretty good here. Especially if you can start to get these 1 pins out.
And thinks about it for a while and says, no, we don't take the pen, Sean. We stick with the plan. Pretty big draw there for Alex. That gives him way back into this hand. Can just start pawning things and hoping one of them is Chun. The Chun is on the right there for Lucas.
Out of
There it
combo.
goes. Insta-pawn.
Clear on the
Yeah,
left.
there it goes.
Was Ishant then, but now Tempai?
That is technically, we're so much in the middle. I just hit the button. Forget this. There's so much in the middle here. Yeah, it's the god awful way, but this is the equivalent of a 3-on hand. This is 3,800 in the pot right now. Imagine you cut 4 pin if you've made this decision.
Right.
There it goes.
And now we see if
And there's the first pay. You can call it, but I don't think it makes it faster. And you feel really bad when that 8 comes out. If I'd have called North, I would have been able to get the 8, and then it would be worth it. And that's the last pay.
Pong.
And says, okay, that's enough. Enough. Now you have a question. You just throw the Dora and hedge Toy as well?
that's a Toy Honitsu. Honitsu.
No, it says it's Honitsu.
Yeah, some really tough decisions here.
That's a huge upgrade for Alex. That's an easy cheat.
Chi.
There's Tempai.
There's the Tempai you're looking for on the left. Could just Dama this considering the value. But honestly, is 3-6 ever going to make any difference whether you're Ricci or Dama? The answer is it might, just because Alex may decide to shove it, just based on that shape. There's your
Oh.
Tempai.
Dora Yeet, here we
And
go.
there goes Dora.
Everyone follows suit.
Yeah, says thank you. Ooh. Can't upgrade the shape significantly. I think you do. Yeah, 3-6 is double roan now.
You're kind
Of
of
course, it's worth
expecting.
noting on Tenho, only the first person in a head bump situation gets the Homba and the Ricci sticks.
Of course, both players will still get the value of their hand. But this could clear a little bit of an advantage here.
Where are the 3-6s?
Only one
Or
3-so
one
in
of
the
each
wall.
left? Oh, no, there's a call. So, yeah, just the 3-so. Now, Shaw is bad, but I don't think you can call that. 2-so's also bad. But Dora came out. It's just Bako. You know it's Bako. I think you have to just shove it. And Claire does so, and it breathes a huge sigh of relief. Oh, we might see a Chi and a double roan deal in.
Done.
Oh, I'm sure Claire's thrilled to win on Sanso. But deals in, and yeah, there you see it. Kenyon just gets the 29.
Yeah, versus the 4,800, which was just a Pinfu hand for.
But the Hulba does increase.
2,100 now in the middle, and Kenyon does retain the dealership for that win.
That's a pretty good hand here, too. Might even go Honitsu with this. On the right, Pinfu type hand. Shapes aren't great, though. Across the way, Shaw pair can call that and probably just go. Might dream of Honitsu, but with a door, I don't think you need it. And on the left, we see a Tanyao type hand. Hard to do really anything else with that. The shapes are a mess. You have 3 pairs, including the Dora indicator. Ugh. Okay. Kenyon definitely start dreaming. Plus, this lets you accept the Dora very nicely.
No Chuden here,
Problem is the
unfortunately.
1-so is dead, so the shape isn't as good as it looks.
It's okay. We want the
Well,
door
okay,
anyway.
now just draw 5-so, 5-so. And similarly, Alex says, I'll just get rid of that stupid penchant.
Actually, Alex, the only player with the door in hand currently, and now connects to it. So,
I mean, I can just
Shanten.
call and go, and that's the plan here. The problem is that would not be Tempai yet, as that shape in pin is actually kind of awkward. Could call
Pump.
this,
Aha, Kenyon
but
will.
Gideon says, I will call that. Thank you. There's a shot. I think
Pump.
you have to call it. Now, 3-pin, I believe, is the normal cut. Yeah, because this also lets you pair up the Dora. And you just throw the
Gee.
5-so.
Yeah, Tempai on 3, 4, 5, 6 so. Also,
Basically
5 through
any
9.
pin
Yeah.
tile 4 or above.
Yeah, 4 through 9. One downside to
Just
calling the
throw the
6 so is it
Hatsu.
really
Yeah, you
hurts your
have to
shapes
just.
elsewhere.
And that's the thing, is a lot of these players just aren't used to playing with this size Homba. Because it's not something you run into online all that often.
Now, I do know Ricci Nomi famously plays with Big Homba every now and then, so Claire.
Now, you jam the Dora here. You have to, I think. You don't even want to be on this 3-6. It's awful. It's been pulled once, and it's the Dora indicator.
Khan.
Khan.
Oh, Khan into, well, now the 3 has a huge incentive for everyone to use it. And on the left now, very expensive, but still he's Shunten. And now this 2 may just end up getting held because it's so scary. There's going to be our Chi for Tempo waiting on 3-6. Oh, please chunk on this.
Boom.
I mean, it wouldn't ever happen because you just use it directly, but it'd be hilarious to see a chunk on. And the other problem is it's in the hand of the right. Oh
Right.
my goodness, look at that draw. Pairs up the 2. So wait, why was 8-mon thrown? Just giving up. I don't like this at all. I just throw the 1 pin instead.
Well, Lucas
Luke is
now.
just trying to avoid danger altogether. He's been playing so defensively this series.
This is an intentional move. And 5 so pretty bad.
Gee.
Well, there's Tempai on the left, waiting just on 6-pin. He did come out from dealer. There are 2 visible. And there it goes. That's going to deal in.
Dum.
And it has 2 Dora again because of that con. So Alex kind of does this to himself, and Claire just sitting there with a bunch of sticks. Gets all that Homba twice, including the head bump. Doesn't it feel nice to not be dealer and then win Homba 6 and Homba 7?
Yeah, it is extremely unusual. Claire, a huge beneficiary here, will likely be moved to positives after this game.
Yeah, Claire will have a very big result after this, barring a collapse. But we're in South right now.
Home.
Lucas is sitting here with a Pinfu Tanya Dora hand. Maybe I should get that 3-pin and 4 Mon, maybe, on the right. Bunch of Mon tiles. I think he just played as a regular Pinfu. We'll see. Across the way, 8-pin has been pulled. That is probably
It's a play for
a
Doko.
Tanya move, but there is a Sanchiku Doko. I was getting there.
Okay.
The problem is the 8s are kind of locked up, so there is 0 chance you can win Doko.
Oh, that's a
They're
shame.
all dead. Hate to crush your dreams. Wait, no, I don't hate to crush your dreams because that's a dumb dream.
It's a funny dream.
Yes, it would definitely be funny. That is what they call stream value.
Oh,
In
wow.
the meantime, dealer just hits the Dora and is Ricci Dora 1 waiting on 1 Formon. This is not Pinfu because this is the East seat.
1-4 Mon weight, very strong here. All the 1 Mon in the wall. It feels like Lucas is definitely going to win this hand.
The other thing is no one really has a hand to chase. The only one that can even consider is Kidyan. And if she does, she deals in with the Formon.
Alex probably had the best shapes, but immediately breaks away from this. It wants nothing to do with the dealer Ricci.
Well, especially with Lucas, who's just been playing so passively. And the players here should have picked that up.
Right. If Lucas is taking a Ricci, it's probably pretty good. At the very least, it's early dealer Ricci, so difficult to ascertain what exactly he's got. But
also, just generally, a 6-pin Dora is very often just in the hand. So much of the time, if I don't know anything, I assume a hand like this is Ricci Pin Dora 1. And that's what it would be if that East were any other wind. Except, I guess, not South, but you get the idea.
Right, and 5 tiles still in the wall for this weight. We did see a Kidyan Ricci that just never got there. All the tiles being drawn by the wrong players. We'll see if Lucas fares better in this Ricci.
Also, you see Claire a little scared of that East. Hilariously, the hand does actually have 2 East in it, but it's not the shot bone. Similarly, Kidyan a little concerned throwing it too. And there goes the 1 so. Probably decided, okay, it's at least 1 chance. Wait, no, is it 1 chance or Kabe? I think it's just 1 chance.
I see all 4 2
Yeah,
so.
missing 1 2 so, I think. Oh, there's the 4th 2 so. Yeah, 1 here, 1 on the left, 2 across. So yeah, it's Kabe, the 1 so's perfectly safe.
And of course, Claire with the 9 Mon safe.
Oh, is that Tempai on the right? It is.
Wow, that's not surprising for Alex with 2 Dora.
Oh, you have to jam this. You absolutely have to jam this.
Yeah, 5 almost feels like the safest tile there.
Juda's already safe, was discarded earlier. And there's another one on the 1-4. So the 4 is now dead, drawing to 2 1s. Versus the 3, which is, are they 2 in the wall? So it's a 2 versus 2.
Each.
Wow.
And says, I've had enough, we go. And Luke's, what on earth are you doing? And it's a Ricci Chitoi Tanyao Dora 2. So this could be very expensive.
And we're going to do Kyoku.
G.
Oh, dirty Claire.
Says, Kenyon have fun, but Kenyon
has
will
safety.
clear it out. And now I see it, and it's a bit unfortunate the 3s were in the dead wall, but similarly also very unfortunate for Lucas that just drew nothing.
Well, Lucas
You have
can
a weight
blame
like that, you're like, I guaranteed win. There's no way.
Yeah, Lucas
I
can
didn't
blame
win
me.
it.
I caster cursed him.
Well, this is true. And
Boom.
you want to see a curse, you look at this and you think, oh god, it's Cheetoy, isn't it?
Cheetoy door 2, let's go. In the meantime, Alex calls for double south with the 2 sticks in the home ball in the middle. Certainly,
Yeah. I mean, you have value, you just take it.
problem is there's such a big gap to catch up. Even 4,300 is going to be a little bit of a push. Of course, Alex still has his entire dealership, South dealership, remaining.
The other thing is Alex made some points from the last game and is sitting right around ±0. So you just can't afford to take a big fourth. If it's a small fourth, you're still in like okay position with 1 game left. But if you take a -40 or a -50, you start sweating.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, after that call, not a whole lot coming to hand. Across the way, though, Claire working with much better looking shapes here. Probably
Actually,
Sanshoku is
looking
possible.
for 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku and Tanyao. And then on the left, just a Pinfu hand. Could use a Dora, but not too much else there.
Finally, an improvement for Lucas. Grabs the Sanzo. Could take a Richidor too. And there's still Chitoy viable option.
No, interesting situation here for Lucas. Imagine you cut the going Tanyao says Chitoy does not exist.
Honestly, I don't mind just cutting 7 so Simon,
Yeah, I'd cut
dropping a
7 so
Dora
either way.
even and going
It
for
doesn't do
each
anything.
Pinfu Dora 1.
I understand not wanting to cut anything near Dora because that could be bad.
Alex has been holding this south for a long time. I wonder if we're going to see a con. We have all the blocks we need.
It's one of those where the shapes just weren't there. I imagine
Right.
you call once and then you think about it.
Boom.
Man, you should cut the form on. And see, from here, I might call next draw. Even though this is so ugly.
Yeah, that wasn't quite the con you were thinking, call you were thinking about.
No, but I think you have to take it. You have to win this hand, I feel. And it could even just be Onitsu.
Right here, you could even con hope to pair up the Haku. Oh, it just forces it. Okay.
Forces the Honitsu. I don't like this.
This is a play for Mongon. Double
Like, I
south.
don't mind holding the Haku as your safe tile if you just don't draw anything. But I don't like just preemptively cutting it there.
Yeah, a preemptive cut here implies that Alex does want to con. Otherwise, he would just cut the south instead, most likely.
Well, I just caught it. But instead, we have a Dama on the left for no Yaku. Or I guess Sumo is a Yaku, as they always say.
Yeah, Kenyon might not even sumo. I guess there's sticks in
I'd
the
for a
middle.
Tenrichi the 9, for sure. There's our con.
Yeah, a lot of upgrades here for Kenyon. Particularly the
Kenyon
6
gets
mod.
2 Dora. This should be an easy
6
Richi
so.
now. 2 Dora now. You have to Richi, don't you? Nope. The problem is your best upgrade is a 2-pin, which just sets you Flurry 10.
Right, but you won't
Gee.
mind something like the 4 or 5 pin draw.
I think this should have been Ricci the instant that con happened.
Yeah, if Kenyon believes that the 7 pin is really bad right now, she's right. There's only one in the wall. Well, here's your upgrade.
Well, okay, does get
Yeet.
rewarded. Okay. Just has to wait till row 3. That's much more discipline than I have.
Hello, Dora 3. This 2-5 weight actually has a decent 3 tiles in the wall, which is more than I'm expecting given how expensive these pin tiles look on the board. Oh, there's the 6
There's the Ipeco you're always hoping for.
that would give Tanya as well as
Oh
Pinfu.
my, that is what? Why don't you just throw the 5 mon? It's Nakasuchi.
Yeah, I think it's
Then you can throw the 8-pin and wait 7-pin donkey if necessary.
Right.
I think that's just that's a pretty big mistake.
Sumo.
Oh, there's a
Oh,
sumo. Does
just
not
sumo.
matter.
And that's the sumo you're looking for. Ichi sumo, pin through Dora 2.
Ura?
Kenyon with the chance. And the Ura, that's going to be a Hanemon. And this is what Kenyon needed.
Yeah.
Kenyon's staring into the abyss, and this will still only get her to second place because Claire had been running up the score so much.
Yeah, I don't think you could have waited for the 6-0 for the Baimon. You just had to take the Ricci there and hope.
But
for
okay, the
sumo.
wait not only gives her extra value, but then picks the winning tile and gets that to a Hanemon. So good choice by Kenyon. You just wait, decide she needs value, and gets it. We're now in South 2, and this is the kind of situation Alex can't really afford. This would right now be a minus 35 fourth. I mean, he'd still be above the cut line, but I say that's the point at which you're starting to sweat. But is deal here with a callable East and a Dora. On the right, we have a Pinfu type hand. Actually, East on 10, especially if you draw that 3-mon Rishi Pinfu across the way. A Pinfu type hand, but nothing particularly fancy. Maybe a 5, 6, 7 Sanshku shift. And on the left, a whole bunch of pin tiles. So I think I know what I'd want to do with it. But just given how Lucas has been playing today, he may just not even open. Yeah, doesn't call the shot at all. Doesn't want to play Bakahon.
And it's kind of been working for
Con,
him.
you have to con. You have to con this, I think. I think this is a mistake cutting 3-mon. I feel this is where, if you're Alec, you have to make your stand.
Yeah, this is your dealership. It's your last chance. You want to know what the new Dora are before you drop them.
Right. Like, if the new door is 3-mon, you feel really bad. Ishan 10 across the way for Richi, Tanyao, maybe a Peiko Pinfu. And this is the only draw that makes you feel good that you didn't con.
And
But even here,
that,
like, what are you cutting?
Right. The Dora?
Yeah, 1-2 is the normal cut, but I don't mind this cutting for the 7-8-8. This is so bad. Unless you're planning on Dortonki. See, okay, here's a Korak play. What if you cut two so?
Right. The idea would be to eventually get the Dora, but you could still cut the penchant if you need to fill the other shapes.
Right, you can cut you plan on Dortonki, but it gives you some flexibility for kind of everything. Now, I assure you, every bot in the world would scream at you being an idiot for trying to do something like that. But, I mean, that fits me perfectly, doesn't it? What? What? What?
No
What?
problem.
Let me ask you, what?
Alex is trying to do this close. Alex wants draws. We'll wait for the second East, presumably. Yeah, this is very interesting. Also, Kenyon across the
Interesting
way.
is one way of putting it.
Oh,
Okay, well, just knew he was going to draw the 1-so.
We've seen a couple instances tonight where players pass calls to stay on the proper drawing line for the tiles they're looking for.
And then they're right, and I'm always
Reach.
confused because I suck at that.
Oh, this con is going to be so dirty.
Oh, wow. 1 7-pin left in the wall.
Oh,
no.
now we can't even con.
And there go the East. Oh, wow. This is so unfortunate for Claire.
Yeah, the problem is, Kenyon, if she gets that by, might just deal in here.
Oh, yeah. So you definitely take it. The pin look awful against that weight.
Right. But you know Kenyon needs points.
Well, that is not an improvement. So there goes the 8 back. It is one chance. Seems like a reasonable push.
Sumo.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Claire's going to look back at that log and say, you know why I won? Because I had 3 Sanso.
Got the last 7-pin. Okay.
That is a little disgusting. Admittedly, you don't expect the weight to be that bad, but then to draw the hell weight. Again, she's going back at that log and go, what? Which I think just describes the whole way the hand was played by almost everyone.
Well, Claire,
But
10,000
all right,
points in the lead.
Claire has a pretty good
Home.
starting hand here. Can just call and go, looking for Hatsudora 1, maybe
Home.
even a Chanta shift or a Toy shift later. On the right, it's kind of just a Chitoy. Like, I'm not seeing anything else there. It's just a mess of disconnected shapes and maybe a couple pairs. Across the way, though, that's a much better hand for Lucas with a Honitsu. Already called the Haku, can call the non and the pei or even the 6-pin. And on the left, that is Ishunten for what would be Richi Nomi there on the left. Claire here goes ahead and breaks away from the Dora shape. Figuring the Penchon waiting on 7-mon, probably pretty bad. But of course, we know the 7s are all in the wall right now.
Yeah, despite being Dora, they are not being held. There's another pair for Kenyon.
That's an easy call.
ポン
You just cut the... See, I don't like that because...
ポン
I guess you're okay with it. Because if you draw the 2 either way, you're going to take the Shampoo. I
Right.
guess that makes sense.
But if you had plans to take the Kanchan for whatever reason, then
Right. It forces you to take the Shampoo now. Which isn't unreasonable given you are a
Eat.
Yakuhai on one of those ends. But, oh, by the way, is that a Nobetan Richi there on the left? And Tempai for dealer just jams it.
choosing the 3-6 is interesting given that 2 of the 6s have been discarded already. But
And 2 3s are in the right, and 1 is in front of us. You have to take it. You have to pull that. 100%. And Lucas obviously wants Mongon, but that's why you do it. See, if you'd have pulled that, that'd have been a deal in, which is much better than this. Well, not much better, but a little bit better. Tempai is very powerful. But instead, Claire gets another dealer hand, sitting at 53,000 is definitely the result she needed. And has a callable East pair and pretty good shapes everywhere else. You have a 5-8 floater, but I mean, the Mon with the 5 through 9 are all good. On the right, Chun pair, Pei pair. You want to go Honitsu, but the question is, can you really get there? And the answer is, we'll see.
Boom.
Should be an easy pawn, but Kenny's been playing kind of weird at this table. Instead, goes and just takes that across the way. There's a pair of the 1-mon Dora indicator. The problem is the rest of the hand's a bit of a mess. You have a pairs, but you're really trying to go either Chinitsu or Itsu in Mon, especially given the 2-mon is Dora. And on the left, few pairs. You want to go Chanta, but it's just not there with a 2-2-4. So you actually have 2 Dora, but the shape's just so disconnected and hard to use.
yeah, and I think it's not just necessarily one player that's being weird. I think at least 3 players are weird at this table. I think Claire's probably played the most standard. And that's because it's session 6, right? Everyone's priorities are slightly different.
I agree. I feel Claire's been playing pretty standard. Alex has been just holding everything back. And Lucas has simply been holding everything back. And Kenyon has been just fishing for value.
Right. And that's the one interesting thing about session 6 is that your placement is going to have a big impact on how you play the game. It's going to look very different to when you're playing standard. And Claire will take the Tempai here on the 6.
Waiting on the 6, of course, Sumo would be extra foo, but it's just 1 Han either way.
They're all on the wall, though.
Chi.
It's an easy chi there for Kenyon. Still a bit of a mess with that hand. Luke is just getting rid of the 1 pin while he can.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this should be Tempai yet.
And it's not. And even now, it just upgraded to Ishunten. Could switch to a 4-so weight. Of course, there is 1 cut. And makes the correct decision and rewarded. Throws 3-so. I know Claire is definitely one of those cultists out there, but says, you know, sometimes that's where the flow is. Throws it and wins on the 6-so. Picks up the 1800 and is a direct out of second place. So will extend her lead to 54-7 in South 3-2 now.
2 Homa now. We're going to see 6 and 7 again.
All right, Claire has a Pinfu type hand, but definitely needs the 7-mon and then the 3-so. Still would just be Richi Pinfu on the right. I mean, it's a Pinfu hand, but you have a Dora, so probably reach Pinfu, Dora 1. Maybe Tanya now as well across the way. Few pairs, not too much else. Not a particularly fancy hand, but should do the job. And then on the left, you have the 7 Soanko, and everything else is just a complete mess. So 3 mediocre hands and 1 awful hand.
Slow going around the board. Again, Kenyon with a hand that you could open for Tanya, but you don't really want to.
Possible Itsu upgrades now for Claire. Ah, a bit of a backfire there for Kenyon. Cuts the 1 from the 1-2-2, immediately draws the 3.
At least if you end up on a shot, but wait, the 2-mon looks pretty good now.
Pair upgrade there for Claire. Can hedge towards Itsu, won't though. Gets rid of the overlapping shape with the 5, 6, 8, 9. Given how cheap Mon are, what do you think he's just cutting the 3 Mon?
Over like this 9 so or over
Yeah, well,
for
over
the
the
Itsu,
8
the 8,
Mon.
yeah.
8 Mon. I think
Yeah,
honestly
I'm not
calling for
opposed.
Itsu is probably the
Because I
fastest.
really don't want to have. You know, 2 pairs is generally efficient, but I'm not necessarily convinced that these 2 pairs are the best when the 3 months already cut once.
Well, if you get the Shampoo in here, that'd be perfectly fine. Then the Terminal 9s.
Yeah, the 9 shot was pretty good.
But you could have gotten this way anyway, just cutting the 3 Mon earlier. But still, I mean, it's going to be a cheap hand regardless. The expensive hand that's being built is there on the right for Riichi Pinfu's Dora Sanshoku. Now Ishan 10 for it.
Holding this 9 so because it's safe to 2 players. However, the 1 player that it's not safe to could use 1 potentially.
And now Claire has to make a decision. Cuts the 9 pin.
Nine mon an alternate choice there.
Now that 8 pin at least gives you an option to go Tanya if you want. You could just cut 9 Mon 9 Mon here. That's going to be the play. And Lucas just keeping this Ishan 10. Probably wouldn't reach even if it fills.
Even if the ideal 8 so filled, just Dalmir Pinshu. It's too scary not being able to see any of these Dora. And you know there are players who are committed to fighting against whatever Riichi you take.
Could just cheat for
Cheat.
Tempai. I'd definitely take it. And that's going to be the play here. Plus, you can always pull in the 8 pin. Of course, we know where they are. Deals into nothing. That is not a Yaku.
Okay, it's sitting in Ishanten forever. Oh, that's a Yaku.
Oh, well, now you actually have an actual hand waiting on the Dora for Chanya Dora 1.
There's 3 Dora in the wall.
Sumo.
Oh, just Sumo. Easy game.
So that's kind of notable, Lucas, with the Homba as well, getting close to being able to overcome the 30,000 mark.
Yeah,
One
this should
hand.
be a third that he wouldn't even object to. Again, today just planning for the plus minus 0 basically seems to be the play every game. And dealer here is Kinyo. Has a pretty good starting in here. Riichi, Pinfu, Adora, maybe an Itsu upgrade. On the right, nice Onko of 5 pin, few other pairs. And you want to go toy with the hand like that, but it's not really there. Across the way, chewed pair, that's probably a call and go. The problem is Alex needs points and it's not there. So the best hand is probably the one on the left, which is Haku Dora 1, and that is a call and go. Although now it could just be Cheeto. You have 2 Dora as well. Lots of ways the hand can go. I think Claire is by far the best hand. The only problem is the 2 so 5 so may end up getting stuck.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you might just choose to open if any of those comes out. Or
Oh,
just
just draw
them.
yourself. Never mind.
Yeah, that's getting exciting now. Can you did pull in the 1 so that means Itsu's still a consideration here.
6 so doesn't really help this hand. I guess there are potential upgrades later, but right now it doesn't do anything.
6-1 draw allows for another Dora to be used in the hand. It's an upgrade over the 9, unless you're looking for a pair, in which case
That should be a pawn. I don't agree with this. Claire should just call that. The 6 does nothing. You figure the Haku isn't ever going to get kept.
Oh,
Plus,
nine
there are toy
so.
upgrades.
Somehow Kenyon knows that there are no 5 so in the wall and is going for Tanya instead of Itsu.
Wow. Upgrades to Ishan 10 now for Ricci Pinfu Dora 1.
Oh, cut there
And
too.
that's Tempai waiting on the 1-4, so could Dama looking for an upgrade.
1
Maybe it had Tanya, but just hits the button, and that's normal play here.
Yeah, I guess
Ricci Dora 1.
the 9 so cut, not necessarily giving up on Itsu, but just saying I need a pair, and the 9 so's cut many times, as well as the 6 so.
And Claire's kind of up against a wall here. Goes and cuts the Haku.
Of course, the 9
But
so's
she
draw.
doesn't really have any safety here, which is the problem with this hand and why it should have been. I feel it should have been opened a while ago. Like, now what do you cut?
I mean, you can like 2 so and 5 so and just say I've got
2 so and
multiples,
pray, basically.
right?
G.
Absolutely going to cheat that down. Now, Ishan 10 needs the 5 mon twice or the 2 mon and then the 5 mon.
One 4 so still has 4 tiles in the wall. And the 1 so is now 1 chance.
Oh, well, there's a pair up.
Ooh, do
Could
we
even
want
cut the
that?
3 mon here. You see, Claire just hates the situation. Throws it back. Breathes a huge sigh as it passes.
That's another free tile. The next discard as well.
And Lucas does not call the 4-pin and play for move towards K10. Of course, having that extra Dora stuck out there seems perfectly reasonable. Of course, now if Claire would have pushed the 3 mon would be Tempai. Probably in the 4 mon, 8 mon Shampon.
1
There's the thought. You got to jam it.
Yeah, 7 actually doesn't look
This
that
is
bad.
Tempai waiting on 2 5 mon. The 2 is actually really good on the wall. 2
1
left still.
Versus the 4 tiles for Kenyon still.
It ain't Genbutsu. And
Oh,
there it
Num.
goes. Oh, wow. Big pickup and another drop from Alex. Claire going to have a huge win here. Almost plus 60,000. Gets a plus 43.4 and is definitely safe now. Kenyon gets 11.4, but definitely looking for a lot more. Had some big hands, but almost all of them got shut down. Did win that big one towards the end for that Haneo, but that was about it. Luca is just playing to not lose a bunch of points and takes the minus 11.3. And Alex I think, has played the whole series wrong. Has been so utterly defensive for, as far as I can tell, no reason.
yeah,
But takes a minus 43.5, and I believe drops deeply into the motion zone now.
well, not deeply. It's just actually right on the cut line, right behind Garrick, or right ahead of Garrick, rather.
Oh, yeah, right ahead of Garrick. Didn't realize he managed to get into the positives, but yeah, sitting here at minus 41.3 now and sweating, but not demoted.
That's right. Of course, Kenyon, after the plus 11.4 at negative 119, will need one good game in the
Needs
final
help.
one.
Needs help. You probably need a plus 60 to have a realistic chance.
Yeah, even
Maybe you can get a plus 40 with some help elsewhere, but like that's not where you want to be.
right. You're
At this point,
really
it feels like Alfred is demoted. Kevin has games left, is in a really bad position, but might be able to climb out just because you have 4 games. Kenyon, though, is in deep trouble.
we'll wait and see what happens at the rest of the tables. I believe we had noted earlier that they're only playing 3 today. And so it will be a bit before we see the final of this series, the conclusion of this table, I should say.
Oh, I just looked at the game results for that, and we didn't miss anything. Scroll over, you'll see exactly what I mean.
Oh, do we?
First hand, draw. Second hand, draw. Third hand, Kenny deals in to Claire for double tone. Fourth hand, draw. Fifth hand, draw. Sixth hand, draw.
Yeah, I remember looking like when we logged into this game, it was like East 3 and Claire was dealer and there's 3 or 4 Homba and like no one had lost more than 1,000 points or 3,000 points. Like okay, it must have been some really cheap deal-ins or a bunch of Ryukyoku. But in the end, Claire comes out with the majority of the points, and wow, this A1 group has been very intense in these early games, but Luke is still looking strong to finish in the lead. We've got more action coming up, and I want to look at the calendar to see when those games are going to be. Let's see, next.
I know my table has our last 2 games next Tuesday.
Yep, I'm seeing that is probably the next A1 game that's scheduled. I've got my games on. They've been shifted from Monday to Thursday. And that means there's one table that hasn't scheduled their games yet. So very, very excited and heavy anticipation to see when those games will be played and what the outcome will be for those. However, lots of action happening in the other divisions. Thursday, we'll have a B2, a B3, and an A2 table late in the evening. And Sunday is going to be a really busy day as well for us. B1, B2, and A2 going on that day as well. In fact, I really like to cast Sunday evening. So I think I'll even put a stamp on it. You can expect to see a Sunday evening cast for sure. Of course, we'd like to catch as many of these games as possible. And if you want to make sure that you are aware of whenever we cast, you can follow us on Twitch. You can follow us on Twitter. We usually post when we go live as well. In fact, let's put out those socials on the screen right now. At American Reachy on Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube channel for broadcasts, not only today's broadcast, but even the previous broadcasts on Tuesday and Monday of Session 6 action. That's tinyurl.com/ARMLYT, or you can just go to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/@AmericanReachy. Same tag there. And finally, if you'd like to be part of the American Reachy Mahjong League for the upcoming fall season, the registration deadline is rapidly approaching. 5 days remain. September 18th is the last day at which you can register for the league. So make sure to do so ASAP if that is your plan. The only requirement is that every 2-week period you schedule your games with a group of 3 other players, and of course you have to be a U.S. citizen or have residency here. So as long as you can meet those 2 conditions, it's a ton of fun. I highly recommend it. And Session 6 action is a lot of fun. We noted as we watched this last A1 series that, players were not playing standard Mahjong. There were definitely some very interesting decisions being made given their respective positions in the standings. And I always love to see the unique situations that result in this final session. I cannot wait to see what happens through the rest of these 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely some action, some very strange play, some positional. I certainly understand how Lucas was playing. Of course, Claire here played pretty standard, but I think there was maybe some over adjustment from a couple of the other players. But regardless, you're in the pressure zone. This is the end. This is when you promote, demote, or just hold on for dear life. So this is it, and it'll be that way everyone in every division for the next 2 weeks or so. And of course, Armel takes a week off to make sure everything is in line, give the tournament the
admins, I guess, a chance to prepare for the following season. Goodness, they have a ton of work ahead of them, restructuring all the divisions and incorporating all the new registrants into the league, dealing with hiatus and people returning from hiatus. It's going to be a lot of work for Edwin and the rest of the admins, but they always do an excellent job. And of course, huge props to all the administrators for all the work they do, making this league so wonderful. That being said,
All right. So that's about it then, unless there are any other closing thoughts.
none for me.
All right, then. This is Korak along with Nathaniel for the American Rishi Mahjong League signing off. Have a good night, everyone.